Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
I remember a brush with death.
No.
Oh my god, do not use inspiration on this, please! She's looking at it! Please!
Seems to me like you might have gone and found the source all on your own.
Start thinking about what you're going to say to the Shade Assembly when you get caught, which you will.
Everything's in place. It's time to go.
Okay.
All right, everybody. In Season 2, Chapter 41, Sea Haggling. The waning hours of the day tantalized us with the prospect of a night's sleep. But as we followed the river and searched for a suitable spot to lay our heads, we found the forest had one more challenge yet to bear. A purposely misfired arrow landed at our feet and alerted us to someone lurking on the opposite bank, a mysterious figure that motioned to keep quiet, and though we quickly grew anxious by an extended period of silence and inaction, our trust was thankfully not misplaced. For moments later, the shadowy silhouette of a night scaver drifted overhead. This massive, stealthy beast was the last thing we wanted to see after a full day of fighting, so we ducked our heads and held our breath in the reeds by the edge of the water. When the shadow passed, we knew that fortune had smiled upon us, and with our relief came a follow-up arrow, this one bearing a note from our fellow explorer across the way. His advice was to speak only in moderation and avoid traveling in darkness, recommendations we were happy to take as we located a small den he offered up as a place of relative safety. The smell of troll urine was pungent in the air, but not even that could stop us from falling promptly asleep. Exhaustion overtaking us as we rotated through our watches. After Graven had failed to keep his word to Kuuzni, his vivid dreams fostered a bit of restlessness. But we still rose the following morning with fresh eyes and restored magical reserves, not to mention a small gathering of edible offerings from the forest critters who'd perhaps received word of our integrity from Scooter the Wise. As we ventured forth and got closer to the coast, a mildly swampy stretch revealed new creatures endemic to such environments, most notably a pack of bullywugs who, judging by their bulging satchel, had been scavenging for trinkets, as their species was known to do. Upon sensing our presence, they hopped over rather aggressively, and we braced ourselves for conflict, but they were actually more interested in bartering for baubles. And we quickly got the sense that they might have been returning from the crashed Mullafair boat based on the items that they'd acquired. We traded for some odds and ends, including a key ring we thought might come in handy later, then gave a farewell salute and began the first of many conversations about what risks were worth taking when it came to the sea hag and the sunken treasure, a debate that would only be complicated further when we reached the shore and found a mutilated body with the phrase, "No deal, I steal," carved into its back.
Take back.
It was a complicated mixture of emotions we were experiencing on the beach because in addition to this grim warning, we were also for the first time laying eyes on both Finlock Forest and the Isthmus of Rikra. Still a few hours away on foot, but breathtakingly close after all we'd overcome to get here. With time to spare, we proceeded cautiously toward the area around the shipwreck and found plenty of troubling signs to confirm what we already knew, that the hag had cultivated a lair here, and that any attempt to enter might be fraught with danger. Armed with the intel provided by Spud and what we knew about hags in general regarding their proclivity toward treacherous bargains, it seemed we had our pick of strategies. Would we go in looking to make a deal, knowing it might cost us something of great importance? Or would we strike swiftly with an ambush, bypassing negotiation, in the hopes of walking away with all of the remaining goods? After hashing it out extensively, however, we came to the conclusion that it was simply too risky, and it might deplete us of resources better served getting us in or out of the Shade Assembly. With that in mind, we kept our distance and picked up the trail east along the coast, looking forward to tomorrow's rendezvous and asking ourselves, what might the Sea Hag have requested from each one of us if we had stood in her presence on the ship? Which chests, doors, or drawers could have been unlocked using the keys we'd obtained from the bullywugs?
It's fine.
And given Erlen's lack of respect for the voting process, what methods would we turn to next to resolve future disputes?
No.
We find out now on Season 2, Chapter 42 of A Peek Beneath the Veil.
Oh, man.
Blind ballots? Like, that probably.
Yeah, I mean, ranked your voting. Erlen's very progressive.
Orba's counting the votes, and she's like, there's 7 votes here. There's only 4.
This isn't.
And 5 of them are for negotiation.
Man.
Even for those who felt it was the correct decision, there's a lingering sense of dissatisfaction as you listen to the desynchronized swishing sounds of you and your companions kicking up sand along the beach. For something that persisted in your thoughts as a possible little side quest for so long, dating all the way back to when it was first mentioned at a violent encounter with the pawn chaser Colt Moreno, it feels odd to finally leave the Mullfair ship behind you. It was almost like it acted as a buffer between you and the mission proper. The knowledge that before you had to take on Finlock Forest, there was always something that demanded your attention first. But the time has come to check the last item off your peninsular to-do list, and ready yourselves for the fact that the Shade Assembly will be, at best, displeased with your infringement on their borders. The Isthmus looked like such a little thing from down the shore, a modest bridge to a land afar. But now on your approach, it stretches out triumphantly across the sea, steep, towering sides that repel the crashing waves like a sturdy dam. As Pockets foretold to Graven aboard the Semintia, the opposite side of the Isthmus is thick with fog that's gotten caught in the little inlet there, giving it the appearance of an unfinished painting, an empty canvas in the background that's yet to be filled in. It is there, presumably, that you will find the empty harbor that he spoke of, where the last hours before the invasion will be spent. So you guys are moving along the coast to the east. The Isthmus is very much in your sights. Probably another 30, 45 minutes on foot to the Isthmus there, where you'll sort of continue to the other side and into the harbor that Pockets has identified as your meeting point.
Yes.
You sighed.
There was a big sigh there.
Why are you sighing? You wanted to leave.
Yes, yes.
What's the problem?
How are you two feeling? The two of you. Are you feeling all right?
These two?
Us two?
Us two? Which two?
Those two. These two right here. The two who might be affected by the magic of the Shade Assembly. How are you two feeling?
Affected by it?
I think
In
we'll all
what
be
way?
affected by
I don't-
it.
Listen, I'm not irrelevant. Moving forward, we're not focusing on the past. How are you feeling entering an area wherein there is a creature whomst your god has requested that you kill? Are you feeling in control of yourself?
Oh, right, I see. Yeah, how I second that. I am also interested to know.
Honestly, I feel quite empty right now.
Is that historically has that been a positive thing, a negative thing, kind of neutral? I don't.
I will say this. Something I should share before it comes up.
Okay.
Yes.
Back when I prayed in that fight, some of you may have heard me.
Which fight? What do you mean?
When the ghosts tried to burn us.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You have prayed a number of times. in
I was
fights
gonna
recently.
say. So, what happened?
I asked him to help me cleanse that place.
Yes.
And he gave me a reserve of power that I used to... Not enough effect, obviously. And then we fled.
Yes.
It's been made clear to me that, depending on the context, the next time I come across something undead, I may not have a choice. I may have be forced to cleanse it, as it were. I do not understand the full nature of what that means.
Follow-up question.
Yes.
Do you have to see the undead, or do like just sense it?
Yeah. How big
Because-
is your radius on being able to sense these things? Like, is it
Didn't
is it
you
like a
request
radar or is it?
a bunch of undead to help us?
I have many
soon?
undead companions.
I was about
and
to
I was
say.
hoping to have an audience with several of them before we embarked on this new adventure.
Perhaps if you
So-
wanted to do that, you should do that far away.
That's
How
fine.
far away? He's a god.
I'm
Perhaps.
trying to ask him.
It has more to do with my
I was gonna
perception,
say.
I believe.
So you're not
Than
going to
his.
sense evils coming about?
We have seen you move unwillingly forward towards enemies,
Yes. And
so movement is possible.
right, but it depends on my perception of the thing, I
Okay.
imagine.
Okay.
I don't normally sense that there's no super sensory aspect to this.
You've seen the other cleric in visions.
Yeah, but
That
I
is a
can't-
super sensory.
I can't attack
Okay,
him
I
when he's
think-
there. I just see it.
We know that the answer is we don't know.
Yeah,
We're
you
going
think
to
I...
find out.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
looking for some more understanding of it. I've given you all my
Just
understanding.
give me just one moment. Can I just have one moment with you? And I'm just kind of just very quickly trying to make it not a big thing. I'm just gonna kind of like grab
cool
her,
casual,
like,
like-
so casual, and kind of bring her a
Oh,
little
look,
away.
I found this sea glass. Look at this cool shell.
Yeah. Oh my god, what's that? So, do you think maybe perhaps you shouldn't do your, you know, it feels, and I really don't know how it works, but perhaps like when you become the thing with the eyes,
I am, yeah.
She is right now.
yeah, I'm not sure that's a good thing for him to be around right now. Can you not change it back?
Can you change it? Change it back. I'm not asking you. Please just fix it.
I'm planning on changing it tomorrow, but I think I need to stay in this form today in order to
Okay.
get certain communications.
You're not. I'm just asking because of you're not in any way undead, even a little bit. Just a tiny bit undead.
Now,
You're sure about that?
I mean,
I'm not disappointed. I'm just wondering. I'm curious.
I've almost died many times.
No.
As far as your understanding of the Reaper form goes, you're not undead.
Yeah.
You are a conduit of the dead.
Yes. I am the
Okay.
bridge between life and death, so I'm like close to death, but
That's-
I'm not
yeah.
undead.
So, but what I'm wondering is, when you're like this,
Yeah.
do you put out some kind of
Like a beacon?
I don't know, something like that, like a beacon
To who?
to the dead? They don't find you when you're like this?
I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm a little concerned about.
Okay,
Is the
but
fact that you don't
I'm
know.
really happy about my plan because I'm going to ask some people for information today. That's why I'm in this form.
Okay, I'm kind of looking at her and looking back at Graven. So should you ask them about that information, though? Perhaps just maybe we just
From a distance.
just
Yeah.
not because I'm
Go
not
on the
really
walk.
worried about him not knowing. It's just that whatever he knows.
Yep.
So
We'll be discreet.
quite careful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just kind of just
I
act
release
like
back
it
into
doesn't
the
happen.
wild.
Yeah.
Well, that's happening. Yes, you can. I would also, just to clarify another sort of your understanding of it, the times that Kuuzni has taken over or, forced you to do things unwillingly, it's not like something's pinged and you go over to, again, it's very much based on your perception of your surroundings. Like, anytime that you've had that sensation, it's been like, oh, I see a thing right there. Yeah. So it's not like you just vanish and, go off somewhere that you've been forced to.
Worst case scenario. Worst case, absolute worst case scenario. Do you still have manacles on you? You have suggested we tie you up before. Do I have your permission, if you lose yourself, to not attack you, but to try and, I have a climber's kit, to try and tie you up in some way? So you don't cast something horrible on the tiefling.
Yes, she is not undead.
I know, but I know that there is... Listen, this is all very much above anything I ever thought I was going to have to deal with in my entire life. I'm playing catch-up constantly, and I barely understand what's happening. What I do know is that there seems to be some tension between our little one and your god.
You say that.
She keeps saying she's going to murder him. She said it several times.
My hope. What did you say?
Orba said she's going to protect you from your god several times, and can I tie you up if need be?
My understanding of it right now is that he has very little understanding of what she is, and I'd like to keep it that way.
I don't know what she is.
Sure. Other than her, she spoke to them on the beach. I tried to keep myself away from that, yes?
Yes.
Other than that, if that happens again, I will try to keep my distance.
And
as soon as I recognize anything.
What do we do?
And if I don't...
Do you have what do we do? Do you have a weakness? What do we do?
Do I have a weakness?
I don't know, like something that you haven't told us?
You know that most of my spell casting, I must be able to speak, I must be able to use my hands.
A gag, then. A gag.
Sure.
All right. I'll gag you if something
I hadn't thought of her speaking to the undead. I don't plan on coming across any undead until...
I'm not accusing you of anything. Not accusing you of anything. I'm simply saying that if you lose your... I trust you, Graven. I do. It's your superior.
The thought occurs to you that a gag might not work, but you see in Erlen's eyes that makes him feel better. To think that might work.
Listen, I told you, I believe I told you that part of the deal with this beast is that it had been pursued or surrounded in some way by undead.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, I thought, was going to be the next time I would come across them. I don't think that the Shade Assembly would brook any undead in the forest there.
And myconid enhancements in some way too, right?
Myconid poisoning was my understanding.
And that was of creatures surrounding the Chimera, yes?
No.
Yes.
The Chimera itself
Okay.
was showing signs of myconid poisoning, and that the undead were drawn to it for some reason. Which again, all comes back to the idea that he wants this thing dead for selfish reasons. And that when it comes to it, nobody is going to want that but him.
Are we still trying to kill this thing?
That is the idea. I'm sure more will be made plain to us. Well, I hope more will be made plain to us.
If it comes to it, I have to protect Orba over you. You know that, yes?
I hope that you will.
Good.
You guys are getting a little closer. You can talk as you're getting...
We're done. We're done talking.
Oh, right.
Sorry, it's not about you. It's just about you, and I don't want you to.
The plan is to
understand.
gag him if he loses control of himself.
Oh. Okay. No. Sure. Okay. Do we have? Okay.
Depending on the situation, there are times that I have been able to resist it as well. So
Oh, that's encouraging.
I will make it plain. And
Nice.
again, if something like the beach comes up again, I will try to make myself scarce.
Okay.
This feeling of emptiness that you mentioned, does that usually help you resist? I'm just wondering, maybe that's not good, and maybe we try to deal with that So
What
I'm
I-
just thinking battening down reinforcements mentally.
What I mean by that is just that in a way it feels like it used to.
Well, see, but that strikes
When
me as-
things were simple, I mean. I had a target, and I had a mission, and that's all there was. For some reason, I wish there was more feelings around it, but
What exactly did he say was going to happen to you when it was done?
he said that we were done.
That was it.
And your sister?
I don't know.
As you're getting a little closer to the Isthmus now, perception checks for everybody.
Very bad, very bad, very bad.
Oh,
Here we go.
we perceive nothing.
7.
7.
6.
Natural one.
Here we go.
As you guys get a little bit closer and closer, for all the kind of inclement weather and some of the strange beasts like the scaver that you've seen kind of up to this point, the area here is quite calm. This walk up the beach, sort of quiet, wind not blowing too hard. The only animals around, besides your kind of typical forest coastal critters, crabs and things, there's a couple giant lizards that look like they're holding fast to the steep sides of the Isthmus bluffs. And they seem kind of unperturbed by the crashing waves. They stay kind of affixed to this, basically a vertical surface, and the waves kind of crash up, and you'll see them occasionally kind of just get out of the way of the licking waves that are moving up the sides. Finlock Forest is more of the same. Just generic, thick forestation, kind of a uniform height, surrounded by rocks and sand that taper off into the water. You see no creatures, you see no structures, no smoke, no spires, no avenues cut through the trees that seem like they would make a path into the center of the forest. If you didn't know better, you would look at this place and think it was uninhabited. There's no sort of indicators on the rocky dirt, sort of, that anyone's traveling back and forth across the bridge or that they do at any particular time. Single file, you get to the point where you're about to pass the Isthmus on your left. And you're staying a little bit further inland, so you're not like one step away from it. But now pretty much directly, the Isthmus is on your left, and then beyond it, Finlock Forest. Each of you, one by one, takes a long look down this kind of narrow strip of land and see all the way. It's not a perfect straight shot because there's kind of some rocks in the way. It's not perfectly straight, but you can see Finlock on the other side of this. For Graven, as he walks by, that glance to your left where you look over at the Isthmus is accompanied by an inner warmth. A warmth that seems to slow time. The interval between your footfalls feeling like it lasts a minute instead of a second. Once again, a projection appears in front of you. But unlike times prior where it seemed to follow you, everywhere you looked, that projection was in front of your face.
Sight,
Yep.
yeah.
Unlike those times, this one is fixed. In fact, you find that if you look too far to the right or left, it starts to disappear. Like it only appears when you're looking in one particular direction.
Can I, as I recognize that, can I give a quick look to them and see, are they starting to slow?
It seems like everything's slowing, yes. Like even
even
it seems like,
myself almost.
even you almost.
Okay.
It just seems like everything's kind of slowing down around you, as if this moment in time has sort of encapsulated.
I'll try to focus.
The projection, though it fades when you kind of look off to the left or right, when you're looking right at it, it's almost like you're shining like a very directional light in the darkness, like in the dark of night, making like a perfect little circle of vision. You see the orc with the flat cap and the broad torso, facing away from you as they always seem to be. They're holding someone up against a large rock, like 2 hands on the collar, pulled up, and the person's feet are dangling and swinging like back and forth, panicked beneath them. And as the feet dangle, something else you notice is different for this particular projection versus ones prior. You hear sounds. And along with the struggling and some heavy breathing, the man up against the rock lets out a plea. I don't go in. I just make deliveries. The orc lifts a hand, presses it to the man's face, and a muffled scream quickly fades, steam rising until his limbs go limp. Once he's dropped, he kind of slumps against the rock on the ground. The orc takes a few steps away, and the projection, which sort of follows the orc, and you follow him with your eyes, the projection reveals a small handcart, not much larger than a wheelbarrow, which the orc picks up and starts to walk down the isthmus, across the bridge, and slowly the cart and the orc fade away. When the projection is starting to fade a little bit, you try to cling to some of those details. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
22.
In those moments where time seemed to slow, having been through these sort of projection experiences before, you look for anything to latch onto. Some detail, something about the clothing, something about the cart. And you seem to pick up on maybe some pieces of what was in the cart.
Ooh, corn.
Corn.
The handcart looks like it was filled with a couple of small crates, chests, and some foodstuffs. Notably, some large pieces of fresh meat. Maybe like antelope, like chunks of meat. Antelope. You see some bushels of hay or grains, and a pile of small game. It looks like rabbits, like a large pile of rabbits. And that's what would seem like was in the cart.
This, okay. It's like a window that I'm looking into.
Kind of, sure.
Because I'm at the isthmus, like...
You were walking by the isthmus. So you were walking by and you kind of looked over and you're looking down the isthmus.
And I'm seeing him in that space.
As the projection starts to fade, the rock that was in the vision is there.
Yeah.
The rock that he was holding him up against.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That exact rock is there.
Oh my.
Something that you notice about the rock is that there's no evidence of that event. You don't see any blood on the rock. There's no body on the ground. There's no tracks on the ground where the wheels of the cart may have been made.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
It's fading at this point.
Yeah. As soon as he starts to move in the opposite direction across the isthmus, it starts to slowly fade.
What does it look like? The same time of day? Like, I don't get senses of that, like,
no sense of time of day, because it's really just it's the regular world and then this
Yeah.
tiny little circle where you could see the projection. So it looked like it was the same time of day it was right now, but that's only because you can't tell that from the projection.
And when you say blood on the rock, things in the, like, there was blood on the rock that it looked.
I
like
mean, he was pretty aggressively pushing him up against the rock. You might expect to see maybe some
and there
scrapes.
was fire magic going on.
Yep,
in,
like
in
he
the
was
facial
some kind of-
area. All right.
It's just,
Okay.
it starts to back to normal footsteps.
I saw him again
What?
just now.
Where? What do you mean?
I saw the half-orc, and I'm gonna point to the rock. He killed someone, a delivery person, just there, and took their cart down the isthmus.
Erlen's gonna go over to the rock and start
Yeah,
looking
I'll
around
do
it.
the
You have
same.
to walk a little bit out
Yeah,
on the isthmus
wait,
to get to the rock.
Wait,
Oh, how
wait.
far down the rock?
50 feet.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
far, but you'd be walking onto
Oh,
the
okay, never
isthmus
mind,
itself.
never mind.
Slowly. And yeah, the body slumped down there in the vision. The body just...
Yeah, I mean, he was like up against the rock, and then he
Yeah.
just going at the bottom, at the base of the rock. Yeah.
All right. But slowly.
I don't think I should go out on the isthmus at all.
Well, the rock's at the beginning of it. Like, you...
It's
Oh.
at the very beginning of the. You would have
Okay.
to take a few steps onto the land bridge of the isthmus to get to the rock.
Orba will take out her spyglass.
You don't want to go over there.
Oh, no, I don't think we should make ourselves known at all. Erlen's gonna take the
agree.
spyglass and look at the rock and see if there's any, not just blood, but maybe like burns, chars, indentations on the rock.
Give me a perception check. You can make it with advantage using the spyglass, and it's not that far away.
Oh my god.
Bruh.
So bad. 10.
Yeah. If there was any evidence of something there, you can't see it. There's no indentations, no sort of, sort of sagging impressions in the soil where a body might have dropped onto. Nothing. No cart marks. Nothing.
It's hard to see, but I don't think I see anything.
I mean, do you know if that's a projection of something that's already happened, or you have no idea, right?
Have you ever been able to see in the future?
Not that I know of.
Have any of these visions, could any of them feasibly have taken place in the future? You know what I mean?
By the simple fact that I don't know when they happened, yes, they could have been in the future. They could have been the exact moment that they were happening. They could have been... Can they what?
Do that? Predict the future? Why would they
I don't know.
meddle if they... Well, I suppose...
Again, I don't know if I am being shown this. I don't know if this is
Could be some
just a
kind of
connection that I
mistake.
have to him.
Perhaps a different plane
There
of
has never
existence?
been two clerics of Gorsney.
Yeah, I mean, you've never had a projection like this until there was a second cleric. You never had.
There has never been two for him. I don't know whether other clerics of other gods have connections like these.
Did you kill the cleric before you?
If I do, I don't remember it. If I did, I don't remember it.
Think for a second. The way you have before. Think for a second.
My understanding is that he chooses someone. It could be decades between clerics for him, and there are never two at once. That is my understanding.
Well, now there are.
Is that right?
To your knowledge, yes?
Yeah. That is my understanding, which may or may exactly that now there are, and I don't understand the nature of our connection, but we have one.
Is it
Future. How could
possible that he made it there before we did?
Yes.
So
of course.
let's
He's
just
been on the
operate
beach.
under the assumption then that when we get there, we might be meeting him as well. Yes.
This is the future. We could wait here for him.
I don't think that's wise.
Not to metagame, but would Orba have any reason to have knowledge of, like, really powerful magic wielders to be able to predict certain elements of the future?
There is some divination magic in that regard. In this universe, it's not definitive. It's things like what is the one called, like scrying or
Yeah.
something, where like you can sort of focus and predict whether doing something will have like a negative outcome. Like you can get a feeling about it. There isn't quite that sort of like future clarity, like fate, like knowing fate or in some way. Yeah.
But would she have an understanding that that magic, does scrying, like, actually exist in this world? Like, would she
To
know
some
of it?
degree, I mean, some kind of is that the right one? Am I thinking the right
I thought
one?
it was scrying, but maybe not.
No, that isn't the one actually. What's that cleric one? It's like wheel woe. You can like determine whether or not there is some degree of predictive magic, but not like certainty of future events.
Augury.
Okay.
Augury, yes.
Thanks, Trav.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
And even if this is, how do we not know it is just a possible future?
Yeah. If there, that's a good point. If there is, it's kind of like a possible premonition that could come to pass, not is like it will come to pass.
Right.
Were we to stand in this spot for 2 days, something else, the the delivery person would come at a different time, or we would be seen and he would find some other way.
Well, rather than like just sit and wait to see if it is the future, is there any kind of harmless measure that we can take to tip the hand of this person if it is in the future, or set a trap?
Oh,
I
you mean if
think-
he's going to come here? You mean set something up so...
Yeah, let's say it is the future, but we don't want to stick around to find out.
I don't.
The delivery boy's like, don't look behind you.
Don't let anyone kill you.
Yeah.
I don't have an
That's
answer.
terrible advice.
I'm just asking an open-ended question to see if anybody feels it.
I think,
I don't think that's a bad idea.
listen, restraint is not our strong suit. But
We just
Neither is
exercised it. We
precaution.
didn't, go to the sea hag and stuff.
I know we
I
are
was
learning.
gonna say,
then.
we're learning.
Really good.
This is precautionary.
Yes, however, I think this is dangerous enough as it is. Anything we do to alert ourselves about anything. It's the same reason I don't want to write to Grimari. Anything could tip us off. We want to go in like ghosts.
I understand.
No offense to ghosts.
Can we take a page out of our friend's book from yesterday and write a note to an arrow and shoot it by that rock that just says,
No.
beware the half-orc?
Anything, no, because then listen, what we know of the Shade Assembly is that they want to keep to themselves. Even someone warning someone about something positively is considered an invasion.
I'm talking about warning the delivery person.
Yeah.
How
Like,
did you...
could we somehow break his card? Like, set up a part of the landscape to break his card long before the ship? I don't know, guys. I'm just trying to think.
Think of this as just, we could save a life. We could travel inland. We have the day. We could travel inland a little bit and try to find this delivery person and keep him from aiding.
Unfortunately, I don't think saving a single life is paramount to our priorities at this moment.
It will make it harder for him to get into the forest.
So are you presuming that this delivery person tipped him off on how to get in? I think if he already got this far, then he probably knew.
He kills him and takes his cart and goes in his place.
I understand. Okay, I didn't understand.
So, what I'm saying is,
Look, I have to agree. I think if this... I'm not saying it necessarily is in the future, but if it is, don't we want to make it as difficult as possible for someone who could be definitely a formidable adversary getting into an area where we're probably already going to be compromised dealing with, hopefully the Chimera, which is going to be a handful already. Don't we want to get all of our...
Sure, so how do we know where this person came from? Did they come from that way? Where did they come from? Along this coast, along the other coast? Are they coming from perhaps the east?
Well, we know that they're going to have to travel this isthmus, so
But we
why
should
don't we start
avoid
there?
going on that isthmus.
I'm not saying we have to go, but something.
is there a clear path? Kind of, if we're passing it on our left, is there a clear footpath or road that goes towards the woods? No? There's just beach on both
It's
sides.
been a while since you guys have seen. I mean, it's been easier to travel along the. There's a reason why you guys travel along the coast.
Yeah.
It's less thick, it's less dense, like deforestation, but there's been no indication of roads or well-traveled paths at all.
And our knowledge of what is southeast from here, how
Like
far
the
is
other
the
coast, like the eastern coast?
The eastern coast. How far is the nearest settlement
it would be
that we know of?
Burn is the one you know of, which is quite
Which
a
is
bit.
days.
Yes, which is
It's like a round, right?
it's if you keep going and then go down
Yeah,
the
that's
coast,
right,
it's
yeah,
down.
yeah.
Yep.
Should I do some scouting in light of this vision you've had? Do you want me to get in touch with some birds or something? I don't know.
Is there a way we could glue it to the floor?
Glue what?
The cart.
Where's the cart?
Yeah, but we
We're
don't know
talking
what
about
the
finding
path
the
is.
cart now.
Oh, okay. We've moved on. Okay.
Where would we find the cart?
Well, he saw it in the vision, is
Yes, but where?
I was just
all. Well, I
saying.
didn't see it.
I see there are two options. The way we came, which we certainly didn't see anybody traveling along that way, or somebody's coming from Vern.
And an infinite number of paths from
Should
those two
I-
places.
Should I try
Depending on
looking around? Should I try an eye in the sky?
If
Is it worth it?
it
I'm
could,
just literally
it could
asking
help,
if
yes.
it's worth it.
Asking for delivery people with carts.
Where are we meeting pockets exactly?
There's a just south of here, right?
Actually, no, it's just on the other side of the isthmus. Like, you guys are not that far. You can see where the fog is, like, collecting in that little inlet there. So once you guys go past the isthmus, you kind of go down the bank on your left, and you'll be heading down.
I keep thinking, like, isthmus south, you know what I mean?
No.
So, but yeah, just past it.
Yeah, just past
as
it.
we're headed east.
You can see, like, a little inlet on your map there.
It's not far from
Oh,
here.
yeah,
The inlet there is a meeting place there. But
Right in there.
earliest he is here is tomorrow morning.
That's
We
what I'm
have-
saying. We have time. So why
have
don't
time.
I at least take a second to look around? Yeah?
As a,
Yes,
you mean ask a bird, not you look around.
Yeah, I can't fly.
As in, you put out the feelers, you say.
Yeah.
Could anyone report back as soon as they see a delivery person with a cart? We will be
within
here
the next 10 minutes.
within the next day. They,
Look,
do you think they'll be
just
able to
have
find him in 10
I'm just
minutes?
saying it only lasts so long, but they suppose they could signal me in some other way.
They could come back to you. You just wouldn't be able to understand. Like, they'd be like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. You put out the feelers, and then when hopefully they come back within a day, and you can do it twice in a day. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So let me just take a look around. I'm gonna look up at
Give me
the
an
skies and then as I'm looking
you
for.
can do it with advantage. You have a moment. It's
I'm
a clear
also
day.
looking for birds that like I know would maybe prey on something I could provide for them. So like birds that are eating seeds and stuff that I might have in my rations. Investigation, you said?
With advantage.
With
Yeah,
advantage?
it's a clear day. You have a moment.
Oh,
here
and I'm on
before
the
she talks to
coast.
anyone.
Oh man.
Oh, she hasn't talked yet. She's
Okay.
just looking.
I know.
That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Was there something you wanted to say before?
I was gonna say, yeah,
go.
if she's starting
She's
to,
starting to look,
Yeah.
so you can talk to her.
If it helps, them looking for it, the shipment itself was meat. It was carrion, was small game.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which
Food, perhaps, for the.
Oh, yeah, have them fuck up his stock. Because then he can't deliver.
Oh.
I suppose.
that could work.
That
Yes.
sounds like a really good
That
plan.
was it? There was just food on the cart?
All that I saw.
There's a couple small crates that you couldn't see into, but other than that, food.
What I recognized that I could tell what it was meat. There were other things.
So now can I take that into account and look for anything
Sure,
that
you
would
can.
be like a vulture kind of looking thing?
Yeah, so
Shit.
Vultures are very smart.
you see a couple, it's mostly sort of smaller birds. You can see a couple sort of blue feathered birds, they're kind of traveling in a pair that are kind of circling around each other. They kind of,
Okay.
You don't
Alright.
see one that's sort of a really, it's like a scavenging bird of that kind.
Damn. Rats. Well, I'll talk to the bluebirds then.
Casting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I don't know why I just got that dice. I just.
You needed it.
I needed
So
it
as
for
you
emotional.
spot them, you kind of slowly creep up on the tree line there. You look up, they're like on a branch, maybe 6
do,
feet above
I
your
have-
head there.
Shit.
2 more spell slots that are level 1 for this.
Maybe the best place also to come back to you is where we're meeting pockets. I imagine we'll be
right.
staying there. We'll be
Okay, yeah.
holding camp there somewhere in the inlet.
Yeah, right.
So there's those 2 little birds that are kind of just hopping along a branch again, sort of 5
I'm gonna
feet, 6 5
take some rations in my hand, some like seeds, scatter them a little bit in front of me, and then say, "Hi friends, I've got a present for you. If perhaps I could ask you some questions. I'm a friend of Scooter the Astute."
And the 2 of them kind of quickly look to each other.
Nice.
They come down.
Hi. So I was wondering, do you see deliveries coming in through here? People with carts?
Kind of look to each other.
Yeah, all the time.
Oh, right. Have you seen anyone recently with a cart full of, like, meat?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Where was the sun in the sky when that happened?
Very low.
Very low. Okay, was that,
Low into light, not low into dark.
low into light, right. Okay. So perhaps this morning. Thank you so much. Would you be able to perhaps do something for me? I can scatter a few more seeds on the
Nice.
way. I'm gonna be meeting a friend, and can I describe where I'm gonna be meeting pockets?
Sure,
Okay.
the little foggy harbor there.
So in that foggy harbor, I'm meeting a friend later. If you happen to see a delivery person, if you could fly to me, I will give you some seeds, and you flying to me will let me know that someone's coming through.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. It's been nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Great. Okay. And I'm gonna go
Think she
back.
cares about the dead one.
What? I'm sorry. I do. Yes. I heard something about someone who died.
Yeah. One of the delivery people.
Right.
Dead at the Isthmus.
Did you happen to see a large half-orc man?
No. When we got there, he was dead. No one else was there.
His cart was gone, right?
Didn't have a cart.
Right. Okay.
Someone else came later. Grabbed the body.
Someone in a robe. Someone in what? Do you know what they were wearing?
Rope.
In a robe, right? Did they have a brooch, like a pin on it? Do you remember?
Too far.
Too far. Okay. That person wasn't a half-orc?
No.
No. Right. Interesting. And they just came in and dragged the body to the forest?
Threw it in the water.
Threw it in the water. Okay. Right. And that person, were they human, elf? Do you remember?
Look like you.
Like me. Okay. Right. Thank you. That's really helpful. I'm trying
You
to
still want us to come if we see someone?
Now, actually, knowing what you've told me, who I'm looking for is a half-orc. He's a big guy. He might be wearing a talisman of some sort.
Okay.
If you see him, can you please let us know?
Yes.
Thank you, I really appreciate it.
Yes.
It's been right useful. And I'm gonna, just for good measure, scatter some more of my rations. We'll say I use probably,
They go at the seeds there. And
Okay. And then I'm gonna head back to the group, I guess.
Sure.
Okay, so he's here.
What?
He's here. They saw a delivery man with a cart of meat come in. They said the next time they came back, he was dead, and the cart was gone. I did ask if they had seen a half-orc. They said no. He's gonna come to me if they see one in the future where we're meeting pockets, so a half-orc, I asked them.
Where's the body?
Well, after, I suppose they circled back round. They saw what I assume must have been a member of the Shade Assembly. They were someone in a robe, they said, who looks like me, so I'm assuming a half-elf, came out and dragged the body into the water.
Did they have tangerine shields?
I didn't ask.
Tangerine shields.
Do you remember this? The nomads of Rickraw were a group of people that had tangerine shields, and we could perhaps ask for help.
That had made it into
It's from
the
a
Shade
book,
Assembly?
Mysteries of Finlock Forest.
Oh, good memory.
Shall I ask
I've
about
been-
the tangerine
I
shield?
don't.
Sure. If
Are they still here?
Birds flapping around.
Sure,
Birds
it's okay
flapping
by the
around.
seeds. You
Okay.
scattered quite a few.
I'm
of
gonna
them.
kind of run it. So sorry. The one with the robe who dragged the body into the water. Did he have a tangerine shield?
No shield.
No shield. No shield. No shield. And
No
I'm gonna
shield.
kind of walk back.
From this book, I forget when I read it, but somewhere on Chupa, rumors, right? There's lots of rumors surrounding this area. There's rumors of the nomads of Rickraw who have tangerine shields, and they are friendly. We can seek guidance from them. It's, The other thing
That
was
feels dubious to me.
maybe the person who helped us earlier today, was a nomad of Rickraw. The person
I
who-
didn't see a tangerine shield.
Yes, but
In
maybe
fact,
they didn't
quite
have
the
it when they
opposite,
were
really
hiding.
trying to.
Maybe they only have. I think tangerine shields. No, tangerine shields were laid along the shore. That's what the memory is. They lay the tangerine
What?
shields.
Are you just
Okay,
making
wait,
things up
start-
as you go
start
along,
over
Erlen?
with your
Okay.
story.
It's just train of
And-
thought. And they had green
Shields, and they were there.
They were all named Tree Ground.
You
Start
not
the story
say-
over.
Okay.
You don't have.
Mysteries of
Do you
Finlock
feel
Forest.
hot?
Yes.
Mysteries of Finlock Forest.
A child's book.
No.
Oh.
No, a story of rumors
though?
and legends of the area, right?
Okay.
It's an area clouded in
A
mystery.
book of myths.
Yes. Okay,
Rumors and
keep going.
legends,
Keep
yeah.
going.
So there were 3 stories that I remember. One is the nomads of Rickraw, and they lay tangerine shields along the shore,
Okay.
and you can seek guidance from them, perhaps. The-
Are shields definitely
don't see any-
shields?
I don't
shields.
listen.
What if they were seashells that looked like shields?
That's interesting. That's associative and lovely. We could perhaps. These are like the first notes I fucking took on the. There's also a memory of bribing a boatman with a necklace of purple stones is one of the ways into Finlock
Then are you
Forest?
certain that you're well?
Keep
It's
going,
a
keep
book
going.
of legends.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of a legend?
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Believe, if I'm
confused.
remembering this correctly, it's not one of the first notes you ever took. Isn't this from Josko's castle?
Is it?
It was the riddle for putting on the correct color.
Oh,
clothes,
that's true. That's
because
right.
each passage had a different color in it.
That's what it was. Thank you.
Yes.
But
It's
I'm
a little
not-
more
it's,
recent.
it's a grown-up. It's a grown-up book. Right?
It's at least
Yes.
teen
Is at least a young adult novel.
It definitely didn't present itself as like a
Picture
non-fiction book,
No,
but
it's
also
like
not
legends.
a child's book. Yes,
Yeah.
it's like myths and legends. Yes.
Sorry, this is from Josko's. It's from Josko's.
Great. So story number 2.
Story number 2 was a
Wait,
boatman who you bribe with necklaces of purple stones. I think Graven's onto something.
You
here.
bribe him with necklaces, or he wears
Hang on,
necklaces?
what
May
does
you
Graven
bribe
say
him-
about any of this?
Maybe-
Why are you bringing him into
Because
this?
he's.
I'm not onto something. I'm off.
the question.
I don't remember.
Oh no, that's so confusing.
If he's wearing purple stones, then that's what he's wearing, and if he's not, then bribe him with a purple stone. I think
We don't
what I
have
was-
any purple
listen,
stones.
Listen,
Oh my
I
God.
think I think what I'm pointing to is I think if these are truly urban myths and legends, then shields as shells is interesting, and perhaps that is what they're talking about. They've been exaggerated. The stories have changed.
I'm going to be completely honest with you, mate. I have no idea what you're on about.
Well,
Story
listen, I've
number
got
3.
one more story for you.
Oh, no. Okay.
There is perhaps a drowned undead assassin along the shore.
What? No, fuck's
Did
sake.
see drowned undead along the shore already. Whether they're assassins,
These
were
are listen, stories that are passed down,
I
or
mean-
or these could even be things that have been trickled down from the Shade Assembly. Listen,
Sure.
any information is useful, right?
Yeah.
can we?
You're taking a fucking note again. Fuck you.
This
guys.
is all very,
Can't wait for this to be super important.
very good, Erland. Can we just? I feel like we were onto something there with the bird and the vision.
Okay. Great.
What it seems is that they saw a murdered man by a rock over
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
and
This
this
is
is dragged into the water.
Yeah, so?
That makes me think.
Yeah.
Are you still with me, both?
I'm with you.
yes.
I'm with you.
I cannot listen at the same
That's
time.
John laughing.
There, I imagine that the Shade Assembly, whether they knew who did it or where they went, they wouldn't want a dead body by the front. They would clean it up.
Yeah, of course.
Where's the body?
It's in the water. Which, hang on. No, hang on, wait, actually, I have a real thought. You've heard this thing about the drowned assassin, right?
Yeah.
Now we know that they're pushing bodies into the water. We know that they're magicians. Is it possible that anyone in this Shade Assembly could be a necromancer? Is this not some kind of a moat?
And yes, there is ways to
I'm just saying.
create an undead soldier of sorts out of corpses.
Well,
Okay,
we
wait.
killed
I've
the
done so
Black Lion
myself.
to prevent that.
So this is not good news for us right now because of what you said a bit earlier, which I don't have to repeat. I'm just saying that if there are indeed you-know-whats in the water, then perhaps I don't know how we're gonna do this because he's gonna and need to kill them.
If we
all.
come across
and
an
then
undead raised delivery man, I imagine we would want to kill it.
As soon as
Not
Safira said the
talking to
water, I want to be scanning the sort of, I guess it'd be easier to see the far shore from where we're standing, right? It's hard to see the close shore. Does it dip
You mean
down?
like Finlock's shore?
Yeah, I guess does the shore that we're presently on dip down so you actually can't see it?
Yeah, so the Isthmus is a sort of land bridge, and
Yeah.
it's steep slopes off of both sides.
Okay,
so
from just where I am, I want to start looking around any shore I can see and see if I see any floating
give me a
bodies.
perception.
Did he say which way it was tossed?
21.
Nice.
You do not. However, as you're scanning as best you can, and now with kind of a higher vantage point here at the Isthmus, and sometimes looking off in the direction of Finlock Forest, you look at the beaches of Finlock Forest, which are very small and pretty steep. It comes up very quickly, and it's just a little bit of sand and rock, and then it immediately transitions into forest. But for the split second, you see something. You're kind of moving your spyglass across, and you see something tiny move across in the opposite direction, like teeny, teeny, tiny,
On the beach?
like hovering above the ground on the beach. Just zip by.
Can I try and follow it back?
You can. You try and follow it. And it looks like it's very quickly moving across the beach and kind of moving, and it's moving almost unnaturally level the whole time. Like it doesn't seem like an animal like bouncing up and down or something. It's like a little round object sort of skimming across the beach of Finland Forest.
Magic users, look at this. Look. Something potentially magical across on the beach. And I'm going to try and point something small moving suspiciously at a perfect level. An animal couldn't do that. Is there a beacon spell? Is there some sort of...
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay. $11.
11? Okay.
Let me think about it.
Does this sound
The
like...
description of what he says sounds a little bit like an arcane eye. Which is a spell that allows you to have a little sort of object that floats, and you can basically see through the vision of the arcane eye.
That's what Marvin Bishop had in his office, right?
He had he had a longer range and like static, because remember he just had he was
Right.
able to see
It was like a security
yeah,
camera
it's almost
almost.
like
Oh, okay, that's
this
a
is
different
mobile.
thing.
Yeah, a similar spell, similar kind of magic, but this is not the same thing. But yeah, so it sounds like that. Some kind of spying sentry, whatever, using to sort of.
Do I know how its vision works? Like, can it see in all directions? Can it see
With that roll, I'm gonna say you don't really remember.
Stupid dice.
Want to bet you don't know the range either?
How far is he?
Okay, so yeah, it's kind of like a magical sentry. I don't know much about
It
it.
see us? Everyone's going to get down.
Well, it was on the shore and we're up on a bluff, right?
It's only the Finlock shores are pretty far from where you guys are now. The Isthmus
Okay.
is, it's a good.
But do we still have like a vertical?
Yes,
advantage?
it is lower than where you are. Not by a ton, but it is a lower vantage point than where you are.
No, it can't see us right now, but that's a good thing to know of that exists. I would say we, live in the shadows as much as possible.
I imagine they have all sorts of ways of seeing and attacking and setting off traps at the edge of the beach and the forest.
we
over
should
there.
not go anywhere near that land bridge.
I
Do
agree.
we not want to look for a
No.
body in the water nearby?
No,
Okay.
no,
Not
no.
if there's a sentry.
We have to assume that there are bodies there, and we have to assume that some of them are going to spring to life and try to kill us if we go into the water.
I'm
I
sure
think.
Pockets will have more information about sentries. I also mean to ask him if we should withhold using anything magical in nature once we're like in the Shade Assembly itself. If
They
there's some
might
kind
have
of
some kind of
protection. So just good questions for Pockets. Okay, we seem to be skipping over the big matter here, which is he's already in there.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's already in there.
And he is
At least we now know
Possibly-
he's already in there, so that's better than not knowing.
he's possibly
It is.
disguised or hopefully
Well, no, he was definitely disguised. I think
Right.
because
I hate to ask.
getting his way to the pen.
What happens if he kills the Chimera?
I would think you would have known something about that. Don't you think you would have heard
He will
something
be
from?
the favorite, I imagine.
What does that mean?
And that's bad.
Yeah,
He
that's
will
bad.
bless him with all of his blessings.
Graven, you understand that there's a possibility that you're just going to die, regardless of whether or not you complete this task, right?
The last time
Safira.
I defied him,
I'm sorry. I want
He-
to know that you know.
I am well aware of what he can do to me. The last time I defied him, he took me down. I was twice as... I don't know if he can kill me, but he can certainly take me down several pegs. And I don't know if I plan on defying him when it comes to whether this thing dies or not.
That's not what I'm saying. I think even if you don't defy him, I'm just saying it's a possibility. Worth considering. I'm not saying we shouldn't go. We're going in.
I posed the question. We get there, and the half-orc and the chimera are there,
Who do we kill?
standing down
Him?
each other.
I think we kill him first.
I like that plan.
He's more dangerous.
The Chimera can help.
Well,
Well, not
we're not
as an
gonna
ally, but
collaborate
not
with
as an
it.
ally, but as
Sure.
another entity.
Enemy
We
and me
follow-
and all that.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's a lot of question marks, and I think we need to be communicative in combat as much as possible because there's a lot of factors.
We
I
should-
know, but we have to
So-
decide on a few things.
We shouldn't linger here in the first place. We shouldn't even rest here. We should come back tomorrow for pockets.
I agree.
This is not safe here. We can't linger near this area.
There's like a foggy inlet.
As you look down in that area, you can't see the harbor at all. There's just a shield, sort of a big poof cloud of fog.
Look,
And as you look at it, I mean, the thought strikes you that may have been chosen for a reason because it's so obscure.
I think it's worth investigating this inlet now.
Agree.
Whether it is a good place
Yes,
to stay
just
or not.
last thing before we move on. The birds said that it was probably this morning, probably at sunrise, so he's been in there for a while.
we are catching up then.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, but we're waiting a night, and I'm just saying what can happen in a day.
Well, we can't. We're useless if we die on the way in.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm just saying.
All right,
it's
well,
something
now I
to
feel
consider.
uneasy. Can we move?
Yeah,
Yes.
let's go. Let's go.
Um,
Let's go.
To
the inlet?
Yes. One of us leads the way. not
I'll
them.
lead. I will lead the
Yes.
way. I'm gonna start sort of leading the way towards
Rear.
On the far side of the isthmus, you see the terrain start to kind of slope downward to your left. And again, if there's a harbor hiding in the mist, you can't pick it out from here.
Jesus Christ.
From where you're currently standing, it's almost like you're like floating above the clouds. The fog is so concentrated, and at a certain height, it just seems to stop. Meaning that maybe just a couple 100 feet, maybe even 100 feet is the difference between clear, open, sunny skies and then just swallowed up by the fog. There's, of course, something kind of inherently ominous about venturing into a place you cannot see. But Pockets must have chosen this spot for a reason, and if you can't discern objects inside the fog from more than a stone's throw away, neither can anybody else, especially someone who might take a peek from as far as the shores of Finlock Forest. Down the sandy descent you go. Fog rising from your toes to your head like you're stepping into a hot spring, and the steam is overtaking you, though the sensation is a cool one rather than one of warmth. It's a little disorienting to be able to hear the ocean so loudly and so clearly without being able to see the waves coming in. But if you take slow steps to avoid any kind of rocky surprises, soon the ground begins to flatten out. Coming into view, just beyond the water's edge, is a series of small wooden walkways, like crisscrossing piers, and with them maybe a half dozen small structures, long out of use, but admirably still standing, though judging by some of the dock's kind of splintered ends, it looks like maybe there were a few other dwellings that broke off at some point and didn't survive the years since it was abandoned. All of the buildings are out over the water. They're not along the shore. So these piers kind of go out and then make this kind of almost grid-like network of walkways, and there's some dwellings in between those gridded walkways. It requires quite a network of wooden posts and platforms to keep them all supported. And depending on the height of the tide at any given moment, you might see more or less of these platforms being exposed. Although right now the water level, the tide is pretty high, so the water kind of splashes just over the tops, making the wood kind of slick to walk upon. With the exception of the waves that come in, it's stillness all around. You stop to look around and silently assess what very well may be your final port of call on the always unpredictable northeastern peninsula of Antisu. So you're in this very kind of quiet, it's a little eerie with the sort of houses in the fog, but also there's a little bit of comfort in looking back where you came and it's just a wall of fog. You can't see the top of the hill. You can see a little bright spot in the sky where the sun is, but other than that, outside of the fog, you can't see anything.
And each one of these half dozen structures, are they big enough to house 4 people?
They're like a small dwelling, yeah, sure.
Little house.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we don't have to for the show that we're doing, but we should probably be quiet. We don't know if our voices rise.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't have to whisper for 4 hours.
Yes.
Nailed it.
The waves are pretty loud too. I mean, you guys have been walking along the coast to get here, and when you're along the coast, the waves rolling in make a good deal of noise.
Okay.
Are they the meddling gods this whole time?
Oh my god.
Shut up.
Ooh, the audience.
Get out. Okay, so are we scouting this area? Are we just checking it out and leaving? What are we doing?
I mean, I don't know. I really wish he were here now.
Who?
Why would the Shade Assembly allow this place to exist?
What do you mean allow this place to
It's a
exist?
brilliant hiding place. So close to them.
I don't know. Why do we keep asking
Why
why the
don't
shade
we
assembly
just?
does anything? They
Why
don't.
don't
You're
we
right,
just
you're
take
right,
a
you're
quick
right.
It
perimeter?
did exist as a settlement,
And then
now
they
it's
fucked
ruined.
it
They fucked it up.
Why don't we just assume that they are perfectly well aware of this island's existence and probably monitoring it in some capacity?
We use it perhaps only as a place to lay our heads,
That's
and then to meet pockets.
very quietly.
Graven, can you detect magic today?
Yes.
Maybe we do that. Make sure there's no traps or anything.
I like that
actually,
idea.
yes.
All right. Before we check each hut individually, I'll
Okay.
take a minute to.
Graven sits
attend
for a
to this.
moment.
And we'll keep an eye out as he's doing that.
Okay. You're just waiting for Graven to finish it.
Just standing there looking at it.
I mean, if you're not poking around, we can.
No,
skip
no,
to-
no.
How long would it take to analyze a potion? Is that a short rest thing or?
Yeah, an hour.
Okay.
I think that you might be able to. If it's something that you've had before, you can taste it and see.
Oh.
But if
Might
it's
as well
not,
try.
yeah, if it's
the
not,
potion
then,
that I got from the
From the frogs?
Rep Rops, yeah.
From the Brit Broths? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
While I'm doing this,
Huh?
see if you can. No.
I can understand.
Okay, I'll give it a little.
You give it a little taste. It tastes very much like a healing potion, but it's kind of thick. It's like it more intense. Without, you can take a short rest or a 1 hour to sort of maybe discern exactly what it is, but it tastes like a healing potion that has a little extra vim to it.
I give it back to Graven and share that information.
Sure, and
And we all make that sound.
Graven finishes his detection of magic. It's only a 30-foot radius around you, so you would need to walk around a little bit, but you finish the ritual cast.
But it
of detect
lasts.
magic. Yeah, it lasts for a while.
Yeah, it lasts for a while. 10 minutes, I think. 10 minutes.
Yep.
Up to 10 minutes. All right.
So you're walking like out onto the piers,
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
Just
Slowly,
going
very
towards each
carefully,
one.
kind of moving around. No traces of magic here that you discern. You don't get a sense of that at all. I think you have to use an action to pinpoint, but you don't even get the sense that you
No glowing. No.
None at all. No.
There does
You
not-
watch Graven kind of walk across some of those piers.
A couple times he goes.
So mean.
There doesn't seem to be any, at least not that I can tell with my abilities, any kind of magic source, any magic traps, anything.
Then quietly, let's scout the area and meet back here.
Well,
Then.
what I think we should do is exactly that, and then sit and discuss possibilities, I suppose.
Let's take a look in each one of these huts.
Got
see if
time to
there's
kill
anything in
until
here.
Pockets gets here, so.
Investigation checks, everybody. As the group kind of splits up and pokes around a couple of these different houses.
Oh, wait, I want this one.
Oh, finally. Okay.
No, that's some garbage.
19.
Why were you angry at that?
16.
I wasn't.
6.
18.
You give a thorough check into all of these little dwellings. It looks like some of them maybe serve different purposes. A couple of them look like they were homes. A couple of them look like they were maybe a storehouse or some kind of, maybe not a store, but where people were keeping fishing rods at one point. You see like a rack with like very small little grooves that could have kept a bunch of fishing rods in it at one point. The place is, as you would expect, picked clean from any kind of like valuables. People probably came in here, several times after it was abandoned. Of the 6 buildings, one of them, the roof has kind of caved in and collapsed, so you couldn't stay in that one. So there's basically 5 functioning dwellings that remain here. You find some random things that may have been overlooked as people were scavenging. There's a couple nets that are kind of crusted. They're not in great condition, but nets. Just from the sea water sort of seeping into it and hardening.
Yeah.
Bottles. Erland finds a small box of 15 darts that someone had left behind.
Oh my god.
Rusty darts?
Yep.
And extra damage?
They are mostly
Plus
rusted.
tetanus.
They actually do -1 to attack and damage rolls because they're rusty darts.
They're
I have
blood.
Stop.
that. They're darts that
Can
do
he
minus-
spend an hour to like polish them out real good? Yeah.
Yeah, with your breath.
Hey.
So you have a small box of rusty darts.
Fuck yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's it. You don't find any creatures or any signs of that anyone was here or anything to that effect.
If we kind of gather.
Slowly, one by
Yeah.
one, people come out of the dwellings they were checking, walking across the.
Okay.
Nothing really.
I found some darts.
Oh, good.
Fantastic.
It's the ocean.
What the hell was that?
Oh my
Does the what was the what is the
They have a -1 to the hit roll and the damage roll.
Okay, great.
It's just like a +1 weapon, but reversed.
Shit. When I was looking around where the water sort of meets the dock areas, I want to kind of see if I can see. I'll even stick my head in the water to see if I see any bodies
No.
or evidence of bodies, clothes.
Nope, nothing of the kind.
Shit.
That's worse.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Now,
I don't think we should start a fire, but I'm hungry. Can we do anyone else want? I'm kind of pulling out some rations and like,
I've got my own, thank you.
rations is fine with me.
we should eat now because, you know, day before, whatever. Eat, everyone eat. And Safira's kind of starting to.
Guys, maybe pick out one of those functioning dwellings and take a seat.
Coziest.
You turn over, Graven sort of grabs a big, sort of, it looked like a dresser and kind of tipped over against the wall. Graven pulls it so everyone can kind of sit there and find a little seat.
I can't remember how much I've shared with you about Pockets and what he said, but he is our way in. I do not know if he is our way out.
Okay.
Okay.
I will say, I had a thought.
Yeah.
If, by some miracle, we are in, achieve something, and are not discovered, we could try retracing our steps.
I suppose, yeah.
Sure.
Another option, I think, could be our lead-lined package.
What do you mean? You want to give it to the Shade Assembly?
As a reason for being there. We could present it saying the fact that we have it and the fact that we know what it is significant.
Sure,
And
but
if
why
we-
would we be bringing it to them?
Because we had no... Who else would we bring it to? We need the highest authority. Jillian, Grimari, someone who would understand it. And we couldn't risk just walking in the front door with it. We didn't know who to trust.
I mean-
So we found our way in, and we needed to talk to Jillian, or we need to talk to the highest of the high.
About myconid
I
spores?
mean, there's elements of truth in that, right?
There are. The things that I'm concerned about with that is there may be some people in the Shade Assembly who might be able to help us, who are trustworthy people who might not want to use that as a weapon. However, there may be individuals in
Grimari
this
included.
large organization that might want to take that and become extraordinarily rich. So I think the concern is how much control do we actually, if we present ourselves to the Shade Assembly, we're going to have very little control over what they take from us, because as soon as we're in and they know we're there, they hold all the cards.
We can not reveal it again. I'm imagining this scenario more in that we get in, accomplish
Get caught.
something, and get caught.
It's not
and
a terrible idea to get us out of a sticky spot.
Sure.
I just would rather not use it that way, but
We have nothing else.
We need to get out.
no,
I
I know we've
I
got to
say-
get out. If we
Again, we
if
put
we
it-
need to do it to get out. then-
Maybe we don't even explain it. We bluff that it is this powerful and dangerous item,
Well,
and that
we
we need
can-
to speak to who's in charge, or
We
Grimari,
don't
or
even
somebody.
have to lie. We can tell them that we don't know the full extent or the effects of it, which is, to be fair, true to a certain extent.
Why
But
would
again-
we wouldn't even need to tell them about the myconid spores if we said we came here for Grimari. Our friend is dying. We have tracked Grimari down to this location.
And
We
we
believe-
broke in.
We believe that he can save him.
I think the fact that we broke in has already done the damage there.
It hinges on the fact that we have this. That is why we broke in. It is why we were secretive. It is because we didn't want anyone to know that we had.
You could even say. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say you could even say that Gormari invited us, like told us to sneak in with the spores because we had the materials that could help him clear his name and maybe go back on past mistakes and stuff.
No, I don't.
That
think
seems
that's
like a
it. That's-
preemptive lie that could
That's-
get
Also,
quickly
yes.
found out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. Let's ask Grimari himself. Pull a curtain open, there's Grimari, and he denies
But
the whole
then
thing.
he sees
Or-
you and he sees what we have and he knows something's up and his curiosity is going to get the better of him. I guarantee you.
Okay.
Well, it's
Or,
gonna at this
excuse
open
me,
Grimari's giant grimoire.
Grimari is maybe nowhere near here,
Well, you
and
were
it
the
is
one
a
that brought
lie.
it up first.
Wait, we can't bank on Grimari being in there because
I
that's just a
know.
rumor.
I'm saying.
Anything anymore?
I'm saying that we list him as we don't know who we need to see. We need to see the top of the chain or Grimari. We think
Okay.
he might be here.
Good
Take
plan.
us to your leader, or Grimari. Or someone important, or Grimari.
Yes, exactly.
or if you have, Grimari.
I have a feeling
Any resident Grimaris?
Yes, what?
that if we get in, when we get in, there is no amount of lying that is going to explain our presence within the Shaders.
I'm shocked to hear you say that.
That's
But I agree completely.
was
I
my idea,
completely
not a
agree.
good reason to be there.
I think running
That's a good
is a
reason.
better idea than lying.
Okay, well.
Running
when that
from the
doesn't
Shade
work-
Assembly
Here's the thing.
in Finlock Forest.
I can tell you why I don't disagree,
No,
and I
it's
can tell
true.
you why. No, it's going to be hard, and we're obviously playing on enemy territory here.
We might just be fuck difficult.
I'm kind of wondering if that's not the case, because I mean, if that is the case, is what I should say. I think that might be the case.
That we're fucked?
Yeah.
How
If
about
we
this?
get caught,
If we
I
get-
think we
if-
might just.
if
I
we
think that
get-
might be bad.
If we get caught, open up the fucking Myconid spores
No,
and shove my
no,
hand into it. Create
no,
distraction.
no, no,
fuck's sake.
no.
Will that buy us, like, a second?
No,
I don't know,
no.
it depends on
Well,
what happens.
No,
Okay,
no,
hold on.
No,
Okay,
no, I'm stuck in a
good.
loop.
There's other things that I gotta say.
Absolutely
It took me like
not.
142 episodes, but I broke you.
No, that's
Speaking
ridiculous.
Really quickly, just as we're talking about contraband and going into this place,
Yes.
where can I put this stupid egg?
Oh, we gotta bury.
Do we need to get rid of the letter as well?
Does it have anything to do with the Shade Assembly?
No.
Well, then that's fine. The egg just specifically says who was the traitor and who manipulated the Shade Assembly in the War of Giants, and I don't want to be caught holding it. So we got to find a place to put it, please. Today.
In the ground, right here. I don't know.
We're in a shack over the water. There is no ground here.
No, you said.
We could Are there floorboards?
Yeah.
We could hide it.
Yes, there is.
We could hide it somewhere here in this broken down village.
It's your egg. I don't care. I just don't want it anymore.
Pick a floorboard, pick a corner. Dirty it up first, make it look like shit.
Are we coming back out here? Sorry. Are we coming back out to this place, ideally? In the most ideal circumstance.
According to you, we die when we try to leave there, so
I could try to give it to an animal or something.
Why not just hide it?
Oh, that's
An
well,
anim-
that's so much worse than putting it under the floorboard.
an animal will
Oh, come on!
An animal will put it in a tree and forget
I'll
about it.
forget. I'll forget where I put it in this fucking shack. And when are we gonna return to this island?
Erlen's going to try and take a corner of a floorboard and pry it up very, like, where there's some nails, try and just
And
pry
as
it
he
up a
does
little
that,
bit.
Orba is like taking Safira's hands and bonk, shoving the egg into her hand.
Just take
Erlen
it.
pulls it out.
Take it.
I mean, because these things were built to, withstand the tides. Look, there's several layers. So when you pry up that first floorboard, there's a couple inches of a gap and then another layer of boards.
Great.
and-
Come, hold on. Let me look at this.
Do you want to put dirt on it or something first?
Just hold on. And
Okay.
I'm gonna look down into kind of where. How big is the egg? It's
It's like
egg
sizable,
sized.
right?
Like,
Oh, I thought it was
no,
a
it's not that
chonky
big.
little boy.
No, you can hold it in one
Okay,
hand
never
pretty
mind.
easily. Yeah.
It's a little.
I'm
Bigger
gonna-
than a chicken's egg, but definitely holdable in one hand.
Does it seems like there's layers.
Yes, seems like there's several layers of
Okay.
scaffolding or whatever.
I'm gonna try something.
Foundation.
I'm gonna take the hand axe. I think maybe if we go a few more layers down, whatever I find a decent bottom level, and maybe mend a few pieces to make sure that it is truly sturdy underneath the egg. and then
Okay, sure. I just
mend things
when
back
are we ever
over it.
coming back here? I think it's
Well, then throw it in the sea if we're not coming back
No,
here.
that's not what she needs. Just keep it if we're not coming back here.
No, I can't take it in. The problem is I can't take it in.
I'm gonna start
And we don't know how we're getting out.
down.
Take
Breaking.
out another one.
Kinda
Looks like it might
breaking.
be two, so it looks like there might be 4 total
All right.
layers.
In between 2 and 2, if there's like any kind of broken ones on the third one, I'll try to make a very sturdy spot by mending
I
a
mean,
few things.
this is one of the places that held up, so that
Yeah.
that layer that you get to, it doesn't look, busted. So
All right. If you'd want to lay it down here, I can mend this board back over.
And take some
And it's-
dust and dirt like
it's
from around
earth.
and kind of
It's
like
not like
put some dirt on it.
it's not like Venice where it's like on water, right? Like it's dirt. Like the bedrock is dirt and soil and rock. Like Venice is
No.
built on stilts on like water.
Yes, it is like that. It's
Yes.
out over the water.
So then-
it's like 4 layers of wood, and then if you broke the 4th one, you'd be looking
see.
down at the water.
I see. Okay.
That's why I was trying to like
I got
make
you.
sure there
Yeah,
was
no, I got
something
you.
sturdy underneath.
I pat some mud on it. Okay, just it's dirty. It looks like shit.
Are we putting anything else down here?
It's maybe a little
I
cubby
don't-
hole
this-
there.
I'm pulling out the like little layer.
Later.
Later.
Burler to later.
Flavelschlagem. I'm pulling this out, and I don't think there's anything in here that's gonna be incriminating in any way. I think it's all right if I keep this in my bag.
Okay.
I agree. And then at
I'm
least you
gonna
have
keep this
something
with
in
me.
case.
Yeah,
something
I'm
goes
keeping it with me,
terribly
but so just bury the egg then, alone.
I'll
Replace
like
the
mend that board so that it
Watch that crack disappear, and then you put. So you went 2 down, so you put another one.
another one.
And when Graven picks his hands up, you couldn't even tell that the board was broken initially.
Oh right, thank you. Okay, that's. I mean,
We
that's.
all know where this is.
Should we put like a rock on it or something? I don't know. That's
I
fine.
feel like it's already obscure
It's
enough.
I like went to a corner, so it would be. Like
Well,
a
actually,
corner.
if
You
we
guys
must
are in the
detected magic-
northwesternmost house in this
shit,
harbor.
If you detected
Here we
magic, you
go.
would find it, wouldn't you?
Make it
Sorry,
easy
what?
for you.
It's magic. Wouldn't you find it if you detected magic in an area?
Yes.
It is magic. Okay.
So we can
Yes.
find it if we ever come back here, which I'm sure we never will.
Might have to tell somebody else about it though.
Yeah, at least we
Northeasternmost?
can
You
do
would
that.
be able, northwesternmost, you'd be able to describe it to someone if
Okay.
it came to that.
Equals.
Why is nobody else eating?
I'm eating. I'm eating.
Eat more. All of you eat more.
Okay, so one other thing I wanted. Okay. Oh, there's so many things to do today. We gotta think of questions for pockets, information that we may need, before going in there. I have my map that Jillian tore up that I thought might be the
Oh.
map to the Shade Assembly, and I tried to make it look discreet, so I drew an animal. But any of the shaded parts, those are buildings. Everything else you disregard. So, like this person's face here, the one that's wearing the dress, that's part of a building possibly.
So wait, it's
But
only the
ignore
stuff with the
dresses.
lines.
Yeah.
Okay,
anything that's
those are
shaded in.
buildings.
I tried to just make it
I'm
look like
ignoring the
straight drawing.
feet.
Well,
Yeah.
we assume they're buildings. They
The
could
eye
be-
means nothing.
Eyeball means nothing.
Eyeball means nothing.
Just anything with these vague dashes.
Those roads going in and out of it.
Those are real. I should.
Those are
I
real.
Fill those in. That's a good note.
Okay,
I'll
yeah.
fill those in. I should have gone the other
So
way. This
so
is
nothing that I from the brief little look that we had at it, nothing resembled shapes like we don't see any buildings, right?
You can't see any structures
Yeah,
at all.
okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like this harbor, does it?
Nope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Half a dozen buildings.
Okay.
So there's also this guy with the big baggy pants.
What is that?
Well, that's
It's the
another
guy with
building.
the
Just
big
ignore
baggy
the
pants,
guy.
but that's
But the
it.
baggy pants are real. So there was like grasslands, I thought, or something, maybe forest. I don't know if this was river or road. It was unclear in the map itself, but it's something.
It looks like it enters in between these buildings, if they are buildings.
Yeah, but there were definitely like alleyways.
And
you
that
know?
guy who's hanging out in space, that's nothing.
Just an angry villager.
Oh, of course. Okay. Right. Well, that's great.
So I wanted to show him that to see
Okay.
if this meant anything, so that we could actually have a layout of the space. Like
Yeah.
this might be
Yeah,
part
yeah.
of the holding cages.
Don't let him rip that up.
No, I'm going to hold it like this. And then also show him the pendant, the thing with the essay on it.
Oh, yeah. I asked the birds, by the way, if the one with the robe had a pin, and they said no.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like a universal thing that they all wear, or I
Maybe
have no
higher
idea.
ups do.
I don't know.
They said
People that
too
would have
far.
I think
to
they said
see,
too
actually.
Oh, right. Too far to see. Okay.
Scratch that last.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so questions for pockets like, should we refrain from using magic within the walls of the Shade Assembly?
Probably.
I had
Although,
another one.
doesn't that kind
Fucking
of...
hope not.
I was gonna say, how much exactly can you, both of you do without magic? Almost nothing.
Pick up my mace.
Orba takes out her crude dagger.
And the scythe.
Oh, so let's...
Oh, that's magic.
No, let's...
You think that a scythe that appears out of nowhere isn't
No,
magic?
I don't. Listen.
I'm not sure he's alright.
Other questions.
I'm in so far over my head here.
In case I ever needed to disguise myself, if there's any, remember at the harvesting yard, there was like signals and stuff that all the staff had. If there's anything like that, he can tell us. And then, yeah, just what to anticipate on the initial exit from the water, getting into the Shade Assembly. If there's levels, if there's ladders, if there's doors.
Do you still have those robes? The robes and the brooch from the Cold Light Walker?
The brooch.
Just the brooch. The robes were just rags. They were nothing.
Well, hang on to that, because if we do, take one of these people out, then, if anyone's gonna be in a robe...
I would hope that we are not killing any Shade Assembly member.
No, that's-
We
Well,
are
I would
hiding
hope
from
not
them,
either, but I'm
and then
just
we are
saying-
trying to bargain with them.
I know, and I treasure your optimism. I really do.
I can have nothing else.
So think of other questions. You
You
don't have to do it right now.
Safira's
This is
just...
like one of those end of the interview things where you like
Yeah.
feel like you're
Do you
supposed
have any
to ask.
questions for me?
Yeah.
yeah.
What was it like?
Doing your job.
So Orba sort of posits the question, and again, there's time here. People chew on their rations, people thinking, people walking around. You sort of take a look around the harbor again. You hear people's footsteps kind of moving up and down the piers. The last harbor that you visited was a horrifying ghost town filled with aberrant whale noises and black powder barrels. Graven wasn't there, but it's not unreasonable for you to take a little bit of time to relax in this environment. But kind of for every moment that passes without something emerging from the water or skulking in from the shadows, the collective tightening of your chests just releases its hold, bit by bit. Some of you walk, some of you sit, some of you think, some of you try not to think. The sun shines bright as a blurry halo behind the fog. And it feels like you're kind of in a snow globe that somebody just shook up. And there's only so much time before the air clears and you're kind of forced to face what's out there. So you guys have been, like, time is passing here. Is there any things you guys were looking to get done during a kind of passage of time?
I was gonna say, kind of, maybe before we split up like that, we all got a vote last time when we were talking about the hag. We don't have to do it right now or say it out loud. But I put it to all of you that you said you feel in of your head. If you do not want to go in there, you don't have to.
I think it's funny if you think I'm going to send you in alone.
You don't have. Just think about it,
I thought about it.
please.
I thought about it.
Please take some time.
I'll give Safira a little wink.
I ask too much of you, I know that. This is a selfish thing I ask.
Asking for help isn't selfish.
Maybe.
You're my family, Graven. I help.
Is that what it feels like?
Dunno.
That you simultaneously want to knock somebody's head against a wall, but also want nothing bad to happen to them.
Feels a bit like a contradiction, but I suppose, sure.
You want to knock my head against a wall?
Every day.
Often.
Well, he's an exception, though. I think that's true. I think, buddy, that's how everyone feels about you. And we mean that in the best way. Truly.
I've heard that most of my life, yes.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me a bit.
Still love you, though.
We're going in the fucking Shade Assembly, Graven. We've walked across half the continent.
I was gonna say, now you're gonna say that. We have come quite a ways to get here. If you were gonna give us chances to opt out, I'm just saying, you could have done it at any given moment earlier.
After being the vote to walk away from the last thing, I thought it would be pertinent to allow people to walk away.
Different, but yeah. I'm very much hoping that you can get some clarity, perhaps freedom, peace from something, I don't know. I feel like it's worth a shot. I'm not gonna let you do it alone.
All right, well, from what you said before, are you all prepared to walk out of there without me?
Prepared? You want us to be prepared for that? No one's
Yes.
gonna walk in prepared for that. We wouldn't be walking in if we wanted you to die and then say, oh, well, fuck. We lost him. No, it would be devastating. We want to come out of there with you.
I know.
But if you think I'm not dragging her out no matter what happens, then yeah, you've got another thing coming.
We'll
Obviously,
figure it
she's
out.
coming out.
I made a deal. A very tenuous deal. If I have to make another, and it means me staying behind or dying, just be ready for that.
Well, you can't see me, bitch.
I'm gonna say there, with that kind of lingering in the air, we're gonna take a little break here. People sort of, with Graven sort of, we can speak a little more later, but as with that kind of thought posited and Graven sort of imploring people to take a kind of walk and move around, that's sort of where I was saying where people started to move about the harbor, just take a look, relax, be alone with their thoughts, kind of ebb and flow with the tides there along the beach. So we're gonna take a little break and we'll come back to the harbor here.
And we're gonna fight the Chimera in the next half of the
Yeah, it's gonna take like 20 minutes.
it'll
2
be-
rounds of combat.
in and out.
Buckets is like, it's real quick. I just shoot you out of this cannon.
That'd be
Whee!
sweet. Aw.
All right, guys. Thank you
Dope.
so much. It has only just begun here, our assault on the Shade Assembly, as it were. So we're gonna run a little BRB video.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of new people
Enjoy
in the
some
chat.
games.
So in the breaks, we play all these cool little puzzle videos that you get to participate in, and write in the chat what your guesses are. It's awesome. It's super fun.
Bet
Don't
on-
need to have been a fan of it. Like there's D&D.
There's
Most
D&D
of them are,
things,
yeah, D&D.
and also just totally fucking mindless things.
Bet on the owlbear race.
Bet on the owlbear race. Pick out the mimic.
Maybe not with real money, but live your dreams.
Hey.
All right.
All right, guys. We'll be right back after a short break, and we'll pick it right up there. See you on the other side.
Hello, I'm Madhu. Like and subscribe, please. Okay, thanks. Enjoy your puzzle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tabletop Notch, Chapter 42 of Season 2, Peek Beneath the Veil. And we are very much in the last preparations here for our journey into Finlock Forest. But before we settle our final affairs, please let me throw it over to the...
Y'all have been so darn generous tonight.
Wow.
Final affairs!
Hated that. Buddy 1977 did 100 bits. Dave the One gifted a sub. Happy Panda resubscribes. Goodies did 2,000 bits. Halfbake gave out a community sub. Cool Shaper did 100 bits. Wachati did 100 bits. Goodies gave out a sub. Ali Slayer did 100 bits and then gifted a sub. Goodies gifted a sub. Untamed Geek gifted a sub. Jellybug did 55 bits. Ali Slayer did 100 bits. Dave the One did 100 bits. Flipshot resubscribed. And then Buddy 1977 gave 4 bits. There's a lot of new folks in the chat.
Some new friends
People are
there.
Gifting, yeah, a lot of new.
Welcome.
Grazie.
Love having you all here. And we're only just getting started. For unfathomably, a few more uneventful hours pass. You can't help but kind of chuckle remembering some of the times on your journey together when a couple of hours meant packing in multiple fights. Oh my god. And not just minor scrapes either. Yetis and ogres in the tapered tunnels. An assassination attempt and a rescue with Mohan Fowler and the Radirans. Or back in the ruins of Joyrook with emboldened lizard folk and copper-claw bears. The regularity of the rolling tides provides kind of a steady background rhythm. Nature's metronome keeping you from getting lost inside your own head. And as the splashing beat continues on, so too does your enduring preparation, both physical and mental, as you try to fathom exactly what it is you might be preparing for. So, what have you guys been up to during this time? As you have the day kind of to yourselves, you've arrived here in advance of Pockets' arrival. Who can I throw it over to first?
Safira's been eating, and
For 4 hours.
all rations are gone. No, but solidly an hour. She was packing it away. And then I'm sort of very fastidiously, like, grooming my bow. I'm going through, like, sort of over it with, like, you know, like a rag, almost trying to polish it, like, in the way that I used to do back when I was in the infantry.
Right. When you run your hands along the bowstrings, you get some of that sort of instant gratification feedback, some purring and growling as your fingers run along the bow. It's a nice kind of reminder that you have them with you, like that slight kind of bit of noise that makes you feel like you have them all kind of over your shoulder at all times, kind of looking over you.
I'm like sitting on a dock by the water, just looking at the fucking page that I wrote to Grimari. Like tracing around the flowers, but not erasing it yet.
Yeah, does it still has your original
It
message?
still has the note as Tessa Pleasance.
Orba will now again just quietly pass him and try to look over his shoulder to see if he's changed it at all. But
You hear
Yeah,
Orba's
he
boots
doesn't.
kind of.
Still the same.
Graven will be kind of meticulously taking off armor, setting down shield and weapon, laying the hand axe out next to the mace, and making sure that the items in my bag might be the things at the top or the things that I might need to get quickly. I'll kind of untie the thing that I have that keeps the Kuznets symbol around my neck and like lay it out along with the weapons and stuff, and kind of meditate for a little while, really running my hands along burns and scarring and like just feeling each, thinking of the difference between the chain scarring that happened when I was a teenager and the flame scarring from when I tried to refuse him 5 years ago.
Sort of scars that to a passer or a layman seem very much the same, but to you feel so different. Like you can tell for the kind of texture of them, the condition of them, there's just something different about them. But to anybody else looking at you would think they were all part of the same kind of incident.
And feeling that specific spot that Michael Ainsley was able to kind of tap into back in Orange.
All the way back in Orange.
Yeah. And just thinking of that flash. And I've also got the handkerchief that Holland had given me, as well as the, at this point, it's like a crushed ass dry flower that Orba gave me from the last sip? No. Where was the body in the middle with the creeping ravine? That was it. And I'll kind of fold that I'll fold the flower back in and make like a pouch in the handkerchief, and I'll take the hand axe and I'll very carefully give it like a poked hole. And then before I go to put my symbol back on, I'll kind of loop that on so that it sits, so that the handkerchief kind of sits between me and the symbol as I put it back on.
You no longer feel the kind of metal against your flesh. You feel the handkerchief, the soft sort of...
It's like a little padding.
Yeah.
Can I take a moment to truly identify the potion?
Yeah, over the course of this time, Orba, after giving it a little taste, takes a moment to really sort of examine, compare it to your knowledge of and readings that you've done of the general thickness. It's a potion of superior healing.
Superior! Which is a step over greater.
Yes.
What did we give those little fucking nerds for that?
Fucking
Nothing.
not much.
Not much.
8d4 plus 8.
Oh my god!
I don't think any of us could even use that.
Stop!
As Orba identifies it as
I
the
can
potion
fix it.
of superior healing, there's a brief moment as she's holding it in her hand that you realize that it probably came from the Mullafair ship.
And that there was plenty more where that came from.
Shut Matthew, shut up. I use my time to go back to the Mullafair ship.
No!
So yes, finish identifying.
Great. I'll relay that information to the group and let somebody,
somewhere
not
over the
me,
course of
Erlen
that time.
tosses himself into the ocean.
somebody else take it seriously.
I'll take one.
I had it in my...
Oh, you have it.
I had some
You have
spot
it.
for it
That's great.
because I was holding it.
That's, I think
You
you
do
handed
should
it back
have
to
it.
Yeah.
Graven after you gave it to you.
Great.
As I get just one last quick thing.
Yeah, no, please.
I'll put myself all back together and suit back up and just sitting. People are far enough away that they can't hear me.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the
Yeah.
docks spread out across a decent distance, and even if you're at one end of the harbor and someone's at the other end, you might see like a little silhouette, but people start to disappear in the fog very, very quickly here.
Sister. Mother. Family Ilvigo. I cannot ask you to stay strong. You have all been stronger than I have ever been. I don't know if we will ever meet again. But I believe now that we cared for each other once. And that is enough for me. Please let it be enough.
A little more time passes. Even though you haven't gone to bed yet, the time that does pass feels like a restless sleep, metaphorically kind of tossing and turning, struggling to find stillness in a moment where you could use it the most. Each of you has your own ways of trying to center yourself, whether it's preparation or calm, meditation, activity, something to keep your mind active, shaking off the agitation. But a common thread among all of you is remembering some of those that helped you get here. And the big names are obvious. Sometimes in this moment, some of the names that immediately come to you are, the Jillians and the Cliffs and things like that. But you also, it brings a smile to your face to recall some of the people that in a very small way gave you a push when you needed it since leaving Nivikapura. The young mute boy that gave the iron roots to make sure that you got your page, in Kukari Cove. Theokus in his kobold outfit, who not only gave you a little bit of information, but is the one who helped Erland find you guys, helped direct Erland to the sort of crater's edge there.
Also stole my clothes.
That too.
Oh, terrible.
Just shut up.
You remember the sort of caravan and the trader by the Ropra Mountains who spotted Josko, who told you of that clash between Josko and the half-orc, and also sold you your smoke sticks that ended up...
Oh, holy shit.
Oh my god.
Ended up being a key point of focus in the battle against the Cold Light Walker. Someone who, just by chance, a name that flits in and out of your head, you see a picture of his face, and you remember some of these people that were just little bumps along the way, not in a bad way, but that interrupted you ever so briefly and then gave you a push when you needed it. A little more time passes. Starts to get a little dimmer in the sky. You can see that blotchy spot in the sky where the sun was is beginning to drift downward. Anything else that people wanted to accomplish?
Yeah.
Please?
Orba's gonna find Erlen.
Okay.
Just gonna tap you. Are you still at the shore?
If time's passed, maybe I'm sort of going through some exercises.
Sweet Tai Chi.
When you head over to him, he's bouncing on one leg with his other leg turned.
No need to stop on my account. Did you just get embarrassed?
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go into one of these other houses and just use some of my energy. I'm going to summon that undead spirit that I can summon sometimes.
The big bony one?
Yeah, bony one. Because I think he has some information and I would like to ask him about it. But Graven warned us that.
Oh shit.
So
yes.
just keep an eye out. I think if he doesn't see him, I think if he doesn't see him, we'll be fine.
Furthest house from where he is.
Okay.
And Erlen's gonna follow Orba.
Why are you following me?
Stand right outside. I'm standing right outside.
Don't listen.
I'll actively try not to listen, but I'm going to be standing outside in case the Goliath tries to barge in.
It's better idea to be closer to the Goliath then, so that you stop him before he reaches me.
Erlen just stands above Graven.
I'll stand a few feet away, so as to not hear you, but so that I can see everything and protect you.
Now you're thinking.
So follow her.
Walk to the
And
other
stop
end
maybe
of the
10 feet away.
Yeah, you guys had set up camp in that, northwesternmost, so Orba heads all the way to the opposite side of the farthest possible sort of dwelling there, and it's still up above the water.
Okay. I'm just gonna take.
Shut the door behind you.
Shutting it. She's gonna take her gilded skull out.
Oh boy.
And she's gonna bring back the sunken king.
Welcome to Movie Phone.
What?
Putting in a call. I don't know.
Wow.
Sorry.
I can't.
I'm sorry.
You do have to pick a form that it
I
takes.
do.
believe,
It's not
yes.
gonna be the putrid one because he stinks.
As soon as Orba closes the door, I'm trying to sneak back to the door.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Give me a stealth check.
No.
14.
Okay. What form do you choose?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's see. I guess skeletal. Let me just make sure he doesn't do anything awful.
Sometimes they have war.
Yeah, he's fine. Skeleton's fine.
That would also be probably closest to the form that you originally saw.
Explodes into bone shards. Absolutely peppers you with holes.
So with her hands and voice kind of conducting a little arcane symphony, you present the gilded skull sort of outward to no one in particular, and you watch the sunken king materialize in this chosen form, very similar to the way that you kind of first saw him. Barnacles clinging to his face and his ribs and his bones. Immediately, as he starts to take shape, you watch him sort of swing his head back and forth. It looks like he's looking for the threat that he has been summoned to thwart, as he sort of, that's his purpose now. And he's sort of seeing nothing. Then turns.
Hi.
What do you wish?
When we had our differences, you said some words, and they've kind of been, just my brain's been kind of an echo chamber of some of the things that you referred to, and I was hoping for a little bit of clarification, honestly.
I will try to remember. But I serve a different purpose now. Bound to you, I have left much of that knowledge behind.
Well, shit. Okay.
I will try.
Thank you. Well, I guess first off, do you know what I am still?
The Reaper.
Yeah. Okay, good. That's a good sign. Okay, so okay, so one of the things that you said to me was that the Reaper was not meant to be for me. That I was supposed to be kept safe and not thrown into a fire.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Make a history check.
Oh man, oh man, oh man.
Make it real good. Make it
Oh
real good.
jeez.
Are you smart right now?
I'm proficient in history as
Okay.
Reaper Orba.
No.
Guys, 7. Oh, wait. Hold. 10.
Wow.
See him kind of twist and turn and try to rack his non-existent undead brain there.
Nothing?
Ask me another question.
Okay. Yeah, good idea. Okay, so another thing that you said to me, was that Reapers are chosen in many different ways, and, all of them have one thing in common, that they have a brush with death. An experience that they won't let go. I don't know what it is. Do you?
Make a history check.
Come on, man.
Have this.
Oh.
I'm gonna honor it. Okay, that's a 15.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yes. I remember. A brush with death. A moment in time. An impossible choice. For the mother to save herself or the child.
What?
The father knew that she had to make this choice. And the mother chose the child. That was your brush with death.
Okay, wait, hold on. You're saying that my mother had to choose between her life and mine, and she chose hers?
She chose yours, the child.
To keep me alive?
Yes.
Why? How was this choice presented to her?
You were barely born. In fact, you were not born yet at all.
I don't understand that. Why did my father know?
She was sick. And he knew. He knew that she would not survive the birth.
Okay. Well, you kind of knocked out 2 questions with one answer. There's not much time on this spell, so I'm gonna just keep going. You also told me that I would learn of madness and anguish. Are you merely talking about the spirits that I encounter and their stories and their feelings? Because I do take those on. Or are you saying that I will feel those things.
Make a history check.
Oh man, oh my god, these.
Are you?
No!
Do I want to use this? No, I don't. 11.
I do not remember.
Okay. Okay. Less about me now. Reapers. Is there anything else you know about them? Past Reapers, their successes, who they've severed the ties of in the past on this plane.
Make a history check.
Come on, come on.
Come on. Guys, I haven't rolled above a 10. 13. This is insane.
I only remember your father. He knew they would come for you. He knew that both sides would come for you. The one who hunts the Reapers, and the ones who would have you become the Reaper. Something happened when the impossible choice was made. The father saw something, and he knew what you were, what you could be. He sent you somewhere where he thought no one would find you, so that you need not be embroiled in this conflict of old. And so he failed. It would seem.
Can you sense if he's still on this plane?
Make a history check.
No, come on.
There we go! 25!
Oh man.
He looks like he kind of searches.
The father lives.
Where?
Home.
Where is that?
I do not remember.
Okay. Do you know, and this is possibly the most important question, what happens to clerics when a god's connection is severed?
Make a history check.
Oh my god.
Dirty 20.
Oh.
They live. But they are something else.
As in, like, just non-magical? Just an ordinary person?
Cursed to live an ordinary life. Magic may never touch them ever again.
Any magic?
None at all. For they have been tainted by the divine.
Okay. And others that have been taken by gods, held captive on another plane, do they return if the connection is severed?
Perhaps.
Is there a special trick to doing it?
I do not know.
Okay. What were their names? Their parents?
I do not know.
Okay. Thank you. Feel free to stretch your legs if you want. Got a couple more minutes.
I think
Less than an hour. I know.
He's just gonna be walking
You
around
can
like.
dismiss it. so.
I know.
Just getting.
I don't know. It's like when a Pokemon's in a Pokeball and you're like, go run around.
Don't want to run around.
I know.
Just play cards with him.
Give me a perception check, Erlen.
Fuck you, dude.
With the crashing of the waves, you hear almost nothing at all. You heard the sound of him like being summoned, and then when Orba stops concentrating, the sort of. But the conversation was very quiet, and there's water, crashing against the docks there.
Little bitch.
I use her inspiration.
Final thing.
Yes.
Be at rest, and I'll, drop concentration quietly. And then, just a little loud. Ah! Ah! Ah!
Do I buy it at all?
Make an insight check.
Oh my god.
Make a deception check.
Oh my god! I'm rolling like dog shit.
What am I doing?
10.
Deception? Deception?
10 for me.
No.
Oh my god, do not use inspiration on this, please! She's looking at it! Please! Did you see that?
What are you? No! It's funny. No! 5.
You don't buy it. It seems a little choreographed. And
I'm using that sound to cover my steps walking 10 feet away.
Oh, man.
No one opens the door.
Good job. Normal. Come outside. Peek out. I'm done. Hey. Psst.
Did it? I'll come over. Everything. The Goliath seemed to sense nothing.
That's good.
You don't know that.
You did not?
Meanwhile, Graven's not.
Fine. Good, anything good?
The glasses. Graven's like whittling something. Like,
He hasn't sensed it. He's been staring at me unblinkingly for the last 10 minutes.
I don't know what's up with
I think
that,
he's
but
okay,
I
though.
think It's fine.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, what the fuck is he staring at me? What does he want?
Anything? Was it useful?
Yes, he had some memories left from back when he hated me. So that's good. I don't think I'll be ready for it, but if it ever comes to a point where I have to sever Graven's connection to Kuuzni.
quiet there.
Yeah, very quiet for
That's
him.
okay, yeah.
Loud for everybody else.
Sever his connection from Kuuzni, Graven will survive it. And it's possible that his kin might find their way back to this plane. It's possible.
So this has not all been in vain.
Well, he's doing something, a different measure, but even if Graven is actually released from Kuuzni's grasp today, tomorrow, I might be able to retrieve his family down the line. I don't know. Don't tell him.
Even if he's not? Even if the tie isn't severed, you think you can recover his family?
If I get powerful enough and sever the tie even after his business with Kuuzni is finished and they're still, I don't, if they're still up there somewhere. Just don't tell him I don't want to get his hopes up or anything or stuff.
Of course.
Okay. Yeah.
You alright?
Yeah.
Some more time passes. Anything else? Odds and ends? Things to look at, identify, think about.
I wanted to try to track Orba down.
Okay, yeah, you can find her at some point during that walking across. Yeah, there's lots of day left.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
All right. Kind of looking around. Is anyone within earshot of us, or are we?
You can certainly have the docks
Okay.
are they're big. If you take a little walk with her away from this where the buildings are, you can
we
easily
doing
have a
rations?
private conversation.
Good, you're eating. That's good. That's very good. So, terrible conversation that I think we unfortunately have to have. If
I don't like those.
I don't like them either. If one of us is to die, Graven's what I'm most worried about. Could be me, could be Erland. You have to leave.
mean, I'll try. If you're all dead, I can't do anything about it.
I like that attitude.
I don't think.
That's true.
I could try.
No.
Because you know I'm the bridge to
No,
between
that's
life
what
and
I'm
death.
worried about.
So I could try.
No, but
I
I
didn't think about that until you brought it up, actually. And now you make a really good
No,
point.
no. Hang on. No. So what's good? What's actually good is not trying, and it's peaceful. It's I'm sure. What the thing is, you actually, I think, incidentally, most important person in this. I know you don't like that. That's fine. You don't have to like it. It's just a fact of reality. So, if one of us is to go down, going down, one thing. We get ourselves back up. We'll be fine. Actually deceased, let's not. If we're still under attack, we have to leave. I don't want to do it either, but you cannot die here.
Okay.
I want Graven to reunite with his family, and I want him to be free from, you know, and I want that, I really do, but I don't think he would want you to die for it. I don't want you to die for it. I don't think he would want that either. But I do know who would, and I'm just kind of significantly looking up at the sky.
It's just kind of a foggy cloud.
Oh, why I oughta? So,
I mean, yeah. You're right.
and you have, you know, your friends who are undead. I know you asked them for a favor before. I think perhaps the favor should have been get me the fuck out of here if I need to go.
Oh. Yeah, maybe Graven told me to be more selfish. I didn't really understand it.
That's good advice.
Okay.
Are you feeling...
Selfish? No.
No, I was more meaning like good. Like you're feeling good. Like hearty and strong, I suppose.
Well, yeah, look at my muscles. Orba's got a little vascularity because she's in Reaper
She's in
form.
Reaper form.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Quite
That's
a
good.
bit.
And you're gonna stay with the...
Just until tomorrow morning.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Are we worried about Erland running off and doing anything while he's there?
There's no controlling him. I have to stop trying. Although he did listen to me when I asked for privacy earlier. That was nice.
Okay.
Maybe he's changing.
Okay. Should I talk to him or not talk to him? Because sometimes I think putting the idea in his head is
You
actually
did it
what
to
does
me,
the...
and I'm not being a sneaky person.
was worried about
Yeah.
that.
Maybe,
So
maybe not.
I'll shut my mouth if one of us is actually in fact dead and we're still in combat. We unfortunately have to run. It's not gonna happen. And she just kind of like...
She keeps saying it as she moves.
It's not gonna happen.
It's gonna happen like that. It's not gonna happen.
Evening in the harbor brings with it a biting chill. The sun no longer warming the waters that roll over the shore. And with the drop in temperature, you might expect the density of the fog to dwindle a little bit, but it doesn't here. If the conditions in the harbor were always like this, you feel sorry for the captains that had to bring their ships into port here, where a tiny miscalculation in speed might send you kind of crashing into the docks, come upon you so suddenly in the dark. There's enough cracks between the planks or broken windows in each domicile to make them imperfect barriers against the wind, but they do serve their purpose well enough. And with the exception of a strong gust here and there that kind of causes a loose shutter kind of clatter against the side of the house, the night is quiet, free of surprises. So, are you guys finding one of these places to stay in for the evening? Are you splitting up? What are you guys doing as your sort of arrangements here for the night?
I mean, if there's one that'll fit all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of them. I mean, you'd be all pretty close to each other, but yes.
Watches too.
Yeah.
I think it best if we all stay together.
One person keeps watch outside.
Sure, yeah.
Yes. For all I know, Pockets could show up in the early morning. It could be later on tomorrow. I don't know.
If Pockets does show up during someone's watch and we're close to being awake, perhaps we try and convince him to let us fully sleep.
I think he will.
Okay, I'll take First watch.
I'm like,
2 pans.
Pockets.
revelry as he comes into the harbor there.
Perhaps you should be last if you comes in the morning.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll take second then.
If anybody's feeling restless, I could start your sleep with about 10 minutes of complete silence around you if you'd like.
Maybe you should send to...
Who?
No?
Spud?
Spud.
I think I don't.
see.
This close, perhaps.
I think silence is a bad idea, given that its total silence is disconcerting if someone else were to happen to walk through.
I would be right outside of it, and I would, if anything happened, I could come in and touch you. Just an offer.
I'm alright. I find the waves quite soothing, actually.
Rolling of the waves is pretty. Safira first watch, and then Erland, Orba, Graven, is that what it is? Perception checks for everybody here.
Then
I'll
before...
also do something during.
Okay.
Mother.
What number were you?
3.
Third.
9.
Debating using inspiration.
Oh my god.
Perception.
Ooh, it might go away in the morning.
Huh?
It might go away in the morning.
Yeah, that's one. Let's find out if it does. I'll hold on to
Actually,
it.
good
See if
call.
it follows. Okay. I did a
Learning. 18.
13, great.
blazing the trail with a 4.
Safira enjoys a little bit of the time kind of out there on the docks alone, just kind of watching. It's not too much to keep an eye on with the thickness of the fog. You can't see all that far, so you're kind of keeping an eye out for any maybe shadows in the fog or anything that seems unnatural or motion that seems odd. Nothing happens of the kind. The waves roll in and out. The tide kind of rises and falls a little bit as the hours go by. Erland's watch comes up next.
Nothing happened.
Oh, I figured. Good news.
Keep an eye out.
Yep.
Good night.
Go outside.
Erlen heads outside. You patrol the beach area during your watch. A few steps here and there, not to, you avoid losing sight of the harbor at all times. And you're moving along the beach at one point when you see 2 silhouettes less than 50 feet away by the shoreline. Visible only thanks to the strength of the moonlight kind of doing its best to pierce through the fog. And with their kind of amorphous shape, they could easily be mistaken for rocks, but they do seem to be shifting like there's a little bit of movement. Like it doesn't just seem like a stationary, still object.
Humanoid?
Yes, possibly. It's a little vague with the
Can I tell which direction? Are they moving towards me?
They're not moving at all. They're sort of stationary by the water, almost as if they're like sitting by the where the water line kind of meets the beach.
And I haven't seen them before.
You were kind of walking back and forth, and what caught your eye is you kind of saw a couple shadows that you didn't see when you were heading in one direction, then you headed back, and now you're seeing the shadow.
Okay, I want to try and very quietly approach.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
Oh my god. Very.
I hope so. 22.
As you're approaching very quietly, using each time you let the waves kind of roll in to cover your steps. Look at that, Barry. Went and got himself cured of the blight. Good for him. And you see a man in a rumpled brown jacket, sort of balding, tufts of hair on either side, weathered, kind of sun-kissed skin. He's sitting next to another elderly man, similar in physical appearance. His jacket's a little lighter color. The jacket has little red polka dots on it. Much more permissible now, isn't he? A dramatic improvement.
Erland will sort of sit down.
There by the two of them. And once again, Cypress is holding a fishing rod sort of out that's dangling in the water just beyond him.
I'm feeling much better. Thank you for the warning previously.
Good to hear it. Tell me, son, have you found a good place to die like we talked about?
Still looking. I thought the lack of blight might buy me some more time.
Yes. Oh, yes, that's right, Barry. We talked about the source, didn't we?
Where's the source?
It's not just the blight afflicting you, is it? Seems to me like you might have gone and found the source all on your own. Didn't need our help at all, did he, Barry? Now you just need someone to show you how to use it.
Would you like to tell me how to use it?
I don't know how to use it. I'd tell you if I could.
Does Cypress know how to use it?
Oh, no, old Cypress doesn't know how to use it.
Who does?
I'm sure you'll find someone.
Do you have the same... Am I the first you've been able to speak to?
I speak to lots of people.
Am I the first entity who moves around as much that you've been able to speak to?
You do seem to find your way around, don't you?
More than, I suppose, many of your friends.
I suppose.
Have you ever spoken to anyone else who moves around as much?
Oh, people come and go, don't they, Barry? They do.
How long do I have left?
I was just trying to help you before, son.
I know, and you told me I had very little time left.
Yes. Such a sadness in your eyes there was, brimming with regret. You'll simply have to decide if you've done enough in life to feel comfortable in death. Answer that, and I think the way forward is plain as day.
There's an old friend of mine who I believe understands this source that you speak of perhaps better than anyone.
A good person to ask, maybe.
A dwarven man. Have you seen him?
No dwarves round here lately.
Ever?
Not to my knowledge. Except for... There was that one dwarf, wasn't there, Barry? There was. We're forgetful types, you see. We're old. You'll understand if you ever get old.
Sure. How long ago did you see this dwarf? He himself is quite old.
Yes. Can't remember, but I think he left something behind.
Where?
Oh, it's right behind you.
Ron's gonna
You
look
look behind you. Nothing on the ground or in the area. You look back and you see two trees or brush sort of hanging over the edge of the water. And with a little blow of the wind, you see like a piece of paper come out of the brush.
Oh my god.
Erlen immediately goes to it.
You rip it in half.
And in a handwriting you recognize on a piece of parchment in the bush.
No. Did you just choke?
You okay?
Choked on my own sock.
Hello, Grimari.
Oh, I almost pulled my pants.
It came out of the cypress tree or the berry bush?
Like between them. Like
Okay.
between the two trees.
Erlen, I'm gonna go like right. I'm gonna start. How big are they? How big are they?
Like a little smaller than you, like 4 feet to like 3 to 4
Okay, I
feet.
want
Rummage through the bushes, yeah. It looks like on the cypress tree there was maybe a little pin or something that was keeping it to that, and then it came loose. So you find that little, just like a pin.
Grimari. I'm gonna pull out and I'm gonna erase the note. I'm gonna press the flower. Does it erase the note?
I break
Well done.
all the flowers. Fucking Josco.
Give me an investigation check.
Oh man, oh man.
21.
21. I would say you're looking and sort of thinking and your heart racing a little bit. You look at the note. The ink is dry.
Okay.
It does not look like it was just written. Like,
Okay.
yeah, like.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I don't see. Is it a sandy beach? Is it a?
Yeah, like pebbles and sand. Yeah, like a rocky sea.
I don't see any footprints.
I mean, you're at the
Yeah.
point where at a high tide it would have come up further than where you are now.
Ooh, really? Sorry.
Yes, like a
I
little.
thought you were lying for a second.
Sweating.
I'm gonna write. Where can I find you? I'm gonna write. Where can I find you?
on the okay.
I got your note. Where can I find you? I got your note. Where can I
God damn it.
Race.
Backspace.
I got your note. Where can I find you?
Time goes by. The rest of your watch goes by. Nothing
Oh
changed.
my god.
It's. What I remember is handwriting.
Yes.
It's is.
I mean, unless someone's doing an incredible forgery.
Okay.
What if he just put like a dozen up?
Everywhere he went.
For the last 40 years or whatever, he's just been sticking out.
He sees you right. I found your note. He's like, oh, you stupid.
Which one, idiot? Oh man.
I don't know if you held that up. It says hello, Erland.
Come on.
Oh my fucking god.
Where is this fucker?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's my watch. That's my watch. That's my watch, right?
Come back to find Orba for the third one.
Yeah.
Come outside.
Is everything okay?
No.
What's wrong?
I'm gonna get up, follow him.
What's going on?
See the cypress bush, berry bush?
Yeah?
They talked to me again.
Again?
I spoke with a... Yes, a while ago. The plants are telling me I'm going to die soon. Those plants told me I was going to die.
Okay. You're saying these bushes follow you around, telling you that you're gonna
Other
die.
plants have told me sometimes late at night, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a stillness. I have some connection to plants, as you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes they talk to me and tell me that I'm going to die soon. And they seem to think that there's someone here who can help me.
That's great news.
He knows we're here.
Who?
Grimari.
Now that he says it, you know you wouldn't recognize it on sight the way he does, but now that he says it, the handwriting looks awfully familiar.
Gomari wrote that. Where did you find that?
In the bushes. Tacked up to the bushes.
Did they deliver it?
No. You know the way that listen.
trying to follow.
You know the way that Safira can speak to animals sometimes. I think in some way I am able to sometimes, under certain conditions that I am truly I don't understand.
Yep, that's fair.
I can sometimes speak to plants.
Okay.
They're very cordial, but they don't have much information. They just know that I'm going to die soon, and they know it's because of what is inside of me. And one of them had that note from Grimari.
Okay.
We're compromised now. They know we're here.
They?
Grimari does at least, and I have to assume if Grimari does, he might have told the Shade Assembly. The plants think Grimari can perhaps save me.
Okay. So we look for Grimari inside. Yes. What do you propose we do?
Kill the Chimera and leave. Orba.
I am not leaving that Shade Assembly until we speak to him.
There have been many, many times over the last several months that we've known each other where I have not told you something in an attempt to protect you, in an attempt to have you focus on the task at hand.
Sure.
I am now telling you the thing that I would normally not tell you. If Grimari presents himself, I will of course talk to him. I don't have a death wish. But we can't be running around the entire Shade Assembly looking for both a Chimera, a Cleric of Uzni, and Grimari.
Use the page.
I already have. I told him I got your note. I'm here.
Okay, that's a good start.
Is it?
Yes. This is huge, Erland. Can I get a little excited, please?
You may be excited, yes.
Orba's gonna like reach in and bear hug you and like lift you up a little bit because she's still in Reaper form and put you down.
I'm gonna fix you.
I have not received my powers from the undead or from meddling gods, so unfortunately I think this is a bit out of your purview.
Nope. Because I can do anything. I'm gonna fix you.
That's very sweet, Orba. I was poisoned long ago. And I don't even know if Grimari will be able to help. He might just be interested as a scholar.
That's enough. He was interested as a scholar, and look what he created.
Yes,
Yes.
he turned an old friend of mine into a myconid.
Yes, terrible, but extraordinary.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not dying in this fucking Shade Assembly, I'll tell you that much.
You're not.
I know that. Keep watch, let me know if the berry bush and the cypress tree stop talking again.
Okay, I'll introduce myself.
Or if you see any other notes, frankly.
Okay.
To every tree.
Before I go in, actually, I'll sort of stop at the door. Do you know why I'm poisoned?
Never said it.
I'm asking you, do you know why?
I can surmise.
Take a guess.
I don't want to talk about it, Erland. You don't like talking about it.
All right.
You took my.
I'm also cautioning this overlap is
Oh, okay.
taking a long time
Oh, okay.
between watches.
Okay, cool, cool,
You
cool,
can
cool.
have a wrap up. You can sort of closing thoughts, but yeah, you don't want to.
You took extract.
One more nod. And go inside.
Orba, you said was there something you wanted to do during your?
Yeah, super speedy. I guess she'll give the berry bush a little pat.
Thank you.
Real quickly, she'll just close her eyes, center herself a little bit.
If you can find her, tell her thank you. That's it.
His watch goes by. With the mist obscuring a good portion of the morning sun's strength, it takes longer than usual for people to kind of shake off their grogginess of waking. Graven, Orba, at the end of Orba's watch and the beginning of Graven's, is kind of the light is beginning to start to show. Was there anything Graven wanted to accomplish during his watch?
No.
Nah, fuck it.
I want to level up.
Your bodies are kind of being tricked somewhat into thinking that it's not quite time to rise just because the sun isn't coming through as strong as it should be through the fog. You revel in the luxury of not having to immediately shed that sensation. You don't have to pack up and start moving to make the next checkpoint by nightfall. You have nowhere to be but right here. The morning comes. You guys get up. Anything anyone wants to accomplish in the morning?
Oh, God.
Zero sepsis for the first time in like a year.
I'm gonna change my spell out. Oh my god.
Girdle as well. Girdle.
You're gonna be able to detect
Safira's
magic.
been fucking with her
Yes.
bow. I'm gonna do a new
Full girdle, baby.
Oh, you got
Full
that.
girdle, full sepsis. Bring on the chimera.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
let's not go.
Easy.
Easy.
I don't know if you know this, Chimera, but I have full girdle.
I have full girdle.
full
You
girdle.
best just give up now.
Erlen stands wearing only his girdle at the shore.
Take me, brother.
Doing like a haka and
Oh no, too much bouncing.
Bounce.
Oh man. Yeah, oh god, I gotta do a spell loadout. Jesus.
You have some time to think.
Okay, thank you.
Anything as you guys begin to sort of get up in the morning, move about, nothing seems to have changed overnight in the harbor. It's as foggy as it ever was and as quiet as it ever was as the waves roll
I
in.
can't wait on making changes to my bow until after we talk to Pockets. Damn it! I didn't think I would be able to. Well, that's it. That was my only ask.
That's a short rest, though, James.
See a Safira like calculating in her head as she's messing with the bow.
Hit dice?
I know, it feels good.
Oh, you guys have hit dice now? Oh wait, I'm not Reaper. Damn.
Okay. Bring it on.
For a while, there's kind of an excruciating stretch of fidgety anticipation. A watched pot never boils, but right now there is nothing to do but watch the pot. And you'd estimate it gets to be 11 noon,
Oh my god.
1,
Oh, and this dude is just in there.
2,
I hate this. I hate this.
3. Oh my god. It gets to about 4:30.
Oh my god.
You guys have been waiting around in this sort of agony of anticipation here. And the worst thoughts start to come to mind about whether you're in the right spot, whether he's going to find you here. Finally, some motion is detected. It's not coming from the ocean. It's not from your companions. And it isn't what you expected. From the fog, floating a couple of feet off the ground and moving at a very slow but deliberate pace is like a circular platform.
Oh my god.
Perhaps 3 feet in diameter and 1 inch thick, like a flat circular platform. And it is carrying a collection of items.
Oh.
A couple satchels, a
Does
crate.
it look like the bow thing that I have? I have one of those arrows that like.
You
looks
haven't
like it
seen
can-
that in action?
Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
Orba looks over, and you recognize this from your readings as the spell Tensor's Floating Disc. It's a spell that, a convenient way to string along a good chunk of weight that you might otherwise be unable to kind of carry yourself. It can hold up to quite a lot of weight and moves along without you having to lug it. And just as you kind of take a step forward, the whole group kind of looking curiously, you all sort of slowly move toward it to see what it might bear. You hear a voice. It kind of comes from nowhere, and yet it sounds quite close. When you told me to consult with Ironcloud, you didn't say he was gonna dump a whole bunch of shit on me to carry. Did you think I was bringing a fucking wagon with me, or what? And suddenly the platform vanishes, and all the goods
Oh my god.
drop to the ground.
Oh, okay.
The HUD, and there's a bit of like clinking that makes you worry for the contents. At the same moment, a formerly invisible figure takes shape just a couple of feet from where you stand.
Oh my god.
Pale blue skin. He's got a coral-laden gambeson and a headband to keep his scruffy white hair from falling into his eyes. He's holding an empty potion bottle in his left hand, which he raises and wiggles once he's fully visible. I had to take it out of precaution when I got close. I hadn't heard from you since you left Kukari, so I didn't know if you were dead somewhere along the peninsula. Pockets, by the way. He looks to the other companion.
Right.
Hello.
Pleasure to meet you.
Hi.
And he just kind of throws it behind him. I can't believe there's even one person crazy enough to do this, let alone 4.
Well,
That sounds-
5.
Well, we appreciate the vote of confidence.
For part of the way, anyway.
Yeah, that's all we need.
How long you been waiting here?
Day or so. Why?
Did anyone else show up while I was dragging this junk up the coast?
No.
Good. All right. Well, look, here's how it is. I'm gonna give you the basics. I'm gonna dole out the goods. And then you got a couple of hours to kill while I take a walk. I've reached out to a friend to meet me at a safe hiding spot just inland a bit. Don't worry, I'm not getting sidetracked. They've got something related to the mission at hand. and it's important. When I get back, we'll make the final preparations to leave.
Do you estimate we leave at nightfall?
Just before.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Quiet group you got here, Graven.
Been waiting a long time for this.
So have some other people. All right, everybody take a seat. He finds a little sort of plank of wood or something, sort of leans it up against a rock that he can kind of lean back against so he can address the group. He doesn't go over to the group of goods. He leaves the kind of pile of goods there by the sand, and he looks around. Okay, so the first part is the easy bit. On the south side of Finlock, there's a fissure on the ocean floor where the water starts to get shallow. Now for me, I'd mostly just swim from here to there. But I know the rest of you aren't so aquatically inclined. So I've arranged for a ride. That's what I'm meeting my friend about. On the approach, the assembly uses arcane eyes to watch the beach. Now the arcane eyes, their vision's not so good. They don't see too far in the distance. They're mainly there to see if anybody gets up onto the beach itself. What I'm worried about is the canny quippers. They're like little piranhas, and they're smart too. The assembly has them trained to be their scouts in the water. What they're gonna try and do is they're gonna try and bite you, and then they're gonna try and run away. Once they've tasted a little bit of your blood, they can come back and track you long after the fact.
Fuck's sake.
Even after the bleeding is stopped, as long as you're still in the water.
Okay.
So if you see one, you might just want to kill it. If you get bit by one, you definitely have to kill it. If you don't, we're fucked. Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything we can do to prevent the bites? Anything we can wear? Something?
No, they
Cover
go.
ourselves in piss? I don't know.
You can try. The bites are strong. They're
How's-
not going to get scared away by smells or nothing like that.
How stout are they individually? Is it easy to kill one?
It is, but the fast. You can hit it with a weapon, you can hit it with an arrow. Arrows are tricky. They're small, they're fast. Your best bet is when they swim up to you, stab them with a spear, with a knife, whatever you got. They die quick, but they are fast.
Okay.
Okay. We head down into the fissure, and there's a tunnel in the wall that leads inland. All told, you're probably holding your breath for about 3 whole minutes, maybe more if you're a bad swimmer. We come up for air in a series of caverns. Caverns will hold for our purposes, but they're not exactly indestructible. I told this to Graven before, so no bombs, no booms of any kind. I got better plans for my passing than getting crushed under a bunch of stalactites. So, no bombs, no booms.
Okay.
Now, there might be creatures in these caverns. There might not be creatures in these caverns. I don't know. Sea spawn, jewels, kelpies, could be any manner of sea creatures. We either slip by them, or we cut our way through. We should be deep enough at that point that the sounds of the fighting wouldn't alert anybody, but you know, the less noise we make, the better.
Okay.
Very soon after entering the tunnel, we're gonna bump into a wall that looks very metallic and smooth. It's a gigantic pipe, one of a few that the assembly has coming out of their facilities when they experiment or practice magic. This one's not a sewage pipe. It's for gases. When they made it, they built a safety duct just in case the main outlet got blocked up. So we're gonna open the duct by turning 2 valves at different areas at the same time, which means we're gonna have to split up, like, briefly. You got a question?
I'm, no, just many concerns.
How far split up?
Probably not very far, I'd estimate. From the center point, 10 minutes in each direction. Again, I don't know what's in those 10 minutes. Creatures crawl into those caverns all the time.
Okay.
Are we going to be able to breathe in these pipes? You said they were for gases?
Yeah, so that's part of it. I was originally told it might just be Graven trying to get in. And if that was the case, one of us would go one way and one of us would go the other way. But with our current arrangement, he's coming with me and the three of you go the other way. No offense to the rest of you, but it's only Graven's passage that I made a promise to. So I'm gonna stick with him and make sure he lives long enough for me to say I did my part. Now, obviously, we don't want to be breathing some fucked up air. The pipes groan very loudly when there's pressurized air moving through them, which they send through about every 30 minutes or so to expel the gases in the pipes. Keeps it from building up. You wait for the groaning to stop, then you turn the valves. The door's not going to open without spinning at both ends, so if it seems stuck, you gotta wait for the next groan, and then you gotta try again. We clear on that so far?
Groan, then turn. Groan, then turn, right?
That's right.
And the groaning stops.
Yeah, as soon as the groaning's done, the air's gone through, the pipes should be clear for a little while. After that, after you turn the valves, we all run back to the center where the duct is. We'll obviously have less than 30 minutes to get in and out of the pipe before who knows what gases come trickling down. So keep moving your fucking feet. Up the pipe we go, till we reach another maintenance duct. If we make it that far, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to a ladder that leads up. Though I encourage you to refrain from hopping, skipping, or jumping, because at that point, even the smaller noises might get picked up. When you go up the ladder, you're going to surface in a closet, which when you open the door, is part of the long hallway. Goes in two directions, but one of them leads down to the holding cells. It's hard to miss. Big open room, metal bars, what you'd expect. That ladder where you go up is also where I leave you, and I say good fucking luck.
Okay.
Any questions?
When do we all split up?
A little ways, just once we get inside the cabin and we surface for air. It's only a little bit further till we get to the pipe.
Is this a way back out?
A way back out? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Do you have a way to instantaneously kill a chimera in its sleep? No? Then I suggest you stop thinking about how you're going to escape and start thinking about what you're going to say to the Shade Assembly when you get caught, which you will.
Right, good thinking, good thinking.
But yeah, sure, go back out the way you came.
Right. Orba, did you have a piece of art or drawing or something that you'd like to share?
Oh, okay. I heard you scoff.
We don't know.
I'm glad
We don't know.
somebody remembered.
Okay, so I have reason to believe I found a map of the interior makings of the Shade Assembly.
Okay.
That map was destroyed by one of your operatives, and I have made my own version of the map that's more discreet. So
You're
Orba
explaining a
feeling-
lot of this.
Orba feeling like a right fool. Like, turning this map around. So,
That's a pretty nice dragon.
thank you. His name's Trogdon.
But
Sure.
Anyway, okay, so the important things that I'll point out, ignore sketches. Whatever shaded is structures. Everything else is just distraction and camouflage.
Okay.
Does this mean anything to you?
Yeah, it looks like the Shade Assembly.
Does it really?
Really?
You probably shouldn't have that, and whoever ripped it up for you is doing you a favor.
That is the entire.
I'm kind of interceding,
make a
but
move.
okay, I'm like putting my hand in front of it.
That's the whole thing.
That's the above ground portion of it.
Are the holding pens here?
It's below that bottom structure.
Let's mark it.
Below
The dragon butt or whatever that is.
dragon butt.
Oh, it's in
below
the butt.
dragon butt?
It's in the butt.
You're gonna come up right in that narrower portion. No,
Here.
the narrow portion connecting the two bigger ones. Yeah, right there. That's where you're gonna come up.
Here.
In a closet.
In a closet, that's right.
I will make that a little dragon egg.
Okay.
You go in one direction, that's where the holding cells are.
Where's the transportation circle?
Okay.
What makes you think I'm gonna tell you that?
Because it might be a way out?
You're not getting out.
Okay, so as far as this us getting caught business, which I agree is, approaching inevitable, I'm gonna get that. Do you think, is there some kind of what would you say in our shoes?
I would say you come up with a very convincing reason as to why the fuck you're there.
We have one. We have one in theory. We have one in practice. I don't know.
Are they? Is the Shade Assembly? What is their temperament, if you will? Are they shoot on sight? Are they cast magic at you immediately, or will we be asked questions and imprisoned first?
If they assess you as a threat, they'll probably kill you. If they don't, they'll probably lock you up.
So
Okay,
can we assume though that they will assess us to be a threat, considering the fact that we are doing a murder of a creature?
How quickly can you kill it before they get down there? I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
It's not my job to find out how quick you can do this.
All right. Okay, outside your purview, sure.
Are these lines here gates, structures, or water?
The thin lines.
Yeah, these two like channels.
One of them's a river.
Okay.
One of them's kind of a road.
Which is the road? This one?
Yeah.
Where does that go? What's the orientation here? Where is north?
North is the top of the dragon set.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Where?
I'll put Orba as north. Okay.
What is that?
I don't know. Why don't you go take a look?
Very helpful. Thank you.
Were you in there recently?
I've been on a boat for a while.
Last year, in the last year or two.
No, I haven't been back in a year.
Do you know if there's a
Any questions related to getting into the Shade Assembly, which is what I am here to do?
Yes. Should we be avoiding using magic? Is there any kind of detection?
As you pass between the different rooms, there's certain measures in place to dispel magic, stop effects from happening. Once you get into the holding cells themselves, you should be all right to cast. But as soon as someone finds out you're there, I can't guarantee anything.
Alarm spells. I mean, what are we looking out for? Tripwires, everything?
They shouldn't have alarm spells inside the building. They'll have guards patrolling the place.
Right. And supposing, again, I'm sorry, not, I suppose, exactly about getting in, but once we are into this closet, let's just assume that someone's come into the room and needs something from that closet and opens it just to find... Hello?
At that exact moment that you're in it, sounds like you're fucked.
Okay, well, temper that enthusiasm.
Is there any chance we'll encounter any of the Shade Assembly prior to being actually on the ground? When we're going through the tunnels, when we're going in the water?
I hope not. Whole plan's based on that.
All right.
Occasionally they do maintenance on the pipes, that's how I know about it.
I have the ability to change my appearance. Is that something that...
Seems like in between the rooms it'll get.
Right, but if I were to do it, is there any like signaling or like we've infiltrated places before that have gestures between staff? Is there stuff like that within the assembly?
Yeah.
Can you show me what it is?
No.
I figured. Thanks for trying.
All right.
Okay.
What were you able to bring that might help us?
Let's take a look. Starts to walk over. As he does, he kind of talks. Again, I cannot stress enough that it is only my job to get you in. I don't even believe you can do what you can intend to do and sneak out. Nor would you be able to do so even if I helped you every step of the way. It would have been good if you would use the time leading up to today to come to terms with that. But here's what I got. Just walks over to the thing. Starts to pick up some of the items. I stopped by Cliff. He wrote a note for you.
Oh!
Holds it out and gives it to you. Sourced what I could on short notice. Pockets was quite keen to start his journey immediately. Celis has included some resources for Orba, and I ran into Sarn Darrow as he was boarding a ship at the Tall Ports, who said I should pass this bundle of arrows along to Safira, as she might find them useful.
Sick as fuck.
There is an assortment of potions for healing, protection, and sneaking about. Graven didn't tell me where you were headed, so I didn't know what you needed.
That's good. That's good.
I heard the Cold Light Walker gave you hell, but you had plenty of hell left to give back. Every day, my confidence in you grows. Please stay safe and report back to Navikapura as soon as possible. There is a list here, along with a whole shit of items. 4 potions of greater healing, 1 oil of slipperiness, 1 potion of invisibility, 2 potions of distilled riot root, 2 potions of vitality, which I don't think you guys have done yet, 3 arrows of slowing, 3 arrows of spiritual vigor, which you've used before,
I still have 1 left, so I have 4 now.
100 gold pieces worth of fine inks and components, which is enough to copy 2 spells into your spell book.
My 2 dads are the best.
300 gold pieces worth of diamonds, as requested in your ascending.
How much?
300? One spell's worth.
Okay,
300
okay.
gold
So that's
pieces.
2 bring
I
alives.
have 2 bring alive.
Bring alive.
And then some mundane goods, some length. It seems like he didn't know where you guys were headed. So a couple lengths of rope, a quiver of regular arrows, 3 days worth of rations for 4 people, 4 fresh bedrolls that are in significantly better condition than the stuff that you have. So that is what he hands over. Along with, here's cards for everything.
Not that one.
What,
What is
that
it?
one?
Give it to me.
Something.
I want it. Oh, fuck.
Wow.
I want that one. Take all this back. Wow.
Pockets is kind of pulling stuff out, doling, he's sort of handing
means
them
this fight is gonna
indiscriminately.
Guys, look at all this stuff.
This is fantastic, thank you.
That's great.
In addition to all of this, I brought along a couple wax-sealed backpacks. Because yours, when we go into water, we're gonna ruin all your shit. So, take what you want. He has 4 wax-sealed backpacks there that are not gonna be perfect, but they will
They
keep
don't happen
most
to
of the
hold
water out.
extra stuff.
They do not.
Yeah.
The exchange is more or less equivalent there.
Damn.
I also brought along, and I leave it up to you, some pieces of leather armor. For those of you who dabble in metal, you'll find going down in the water quite easy, but coming up in the water quite difficult.
Yes.
Now, in terms of getting in, I would say you could probably get away with wearing your metal armor. But if you plan on swimming back out, and again, I don't think you're gonna do that, you'll probably have to leave them there in the tunnels.
I'll consider. I think I should keep my armor. Just considering. I don't know. We'll think about it.
So, I'm gonna take a walk. I'm gonna meet my friend. You have a couple of hours. I'll see you then.
Okay. Okay.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
I'll be back. You see him disappear off into the mist. You watch Pockets kind of fade slowly, that bluish skin. In the light of day, you're able to kind of discern that. You guys are here together.
It's very.
Can I see those arrows?
Yeah.
I think
Let me see these.
All right.
it seems like in order to carry all these things, we might need to leave a few more things behind. Markedly, sounds like we're only going to need 1 potion of water breathing each. I don't know if it's worth carrying
I
the extras,
surprisingly don't disagree.
as well
We
as
can't hold on to stuff that we don't need.
as well as possibly 1 healer's kit, as well as take off this giant hammer, as well as this fucking thing.
Can we go over the steps going in one more time so we're all straight, especially if we're splitting up?
Go for it.
We swim down,
Yes, we swim down.
kill any piranhas that touch you.
We'll come near
We'll
you.
come near you, and if they bite you, they have to die.
Right.
Right?
Great.
Then
Going.
we come back up.
We go into a
We
fissure.
go into a yes. We go in and we swim for 3-ish minutes.
Yep.
Yes.
And come back up.
Yeah.
And then there's a big metal pipe.
There's a series of caverns.
We'll
that
come
lead
up
to
for
a-
air in a cavern, yep.
Okay, and then eventually, we're not split up at this part.
Nope.
then.
Nope.
No.
Only for the release valves.
And then we go to the pipe.
Yep.
And we go in. To 2. No?
We
Explain.
when we hit the pipe, we
yes.
separate into two to
Into two
locate
groups,
the valves.
yes.
Yeah.
Do the valves, then come back to the entrance.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
And the valves are on the outside of it.
Correct.
Sure.
And then we come back and we meet him again.
Yeah, we meet at the duct that
And then-
opens,
And then we're through the pipe.
and we're through the pipe.
And up into the closet.
The pipe goes up into a maintenance duct, and then it leads to a ladder, and then the ladder goes up into a closet, and the closet leads to a hallway, and you follow that hallway to the holding cells.
Great. Okay.
Right.
Easy.
Easy enough.
I'm glad nobody brought up the orc problem, as I think there's a
was
chance
gonna
that
ask.
he would have canceled the whole thing if he knew there was
Yes.
already somebody fucking around in there.
I think the orc problem is perhaps our way out, though.
You mean, like, to death?
we had
die?
a premonition that someone was coming in here and we wanted to protect you. We're friends of Jillian.
It's also not terrible.
Did I mention we're friends of Chile?
We're friends of Jillian.
Yeah, and I'll tell them that I'm friends with Scooter the Astute. I'm sure it'll do us a lot of good.
Or we.
Hey,
Listen.
if we're trapped by the state assembly, any possibility of getting out is a good one.
I think the spore is our best bet still.
I do think it's the better one, but I'm not going to tell
Safira's
you.
looking at her bow in agony. Just like you can see her like fiddling with it.
I don't know what to
Trying to dig a
do.
load out.
I don't know what to do.
Oh.
I don't know what to do. I don't know. Because I think. So we're going in there and presumably dealing with the one thing.
I
the
assume
one big thing.
one
But I don't-
powerful thing.
That's okay, okay, so we're gonna. So.
And then you see her kind of like screwing with it again.
Should we figure out our slots now? Like who's taking what?
Inventory you can figure
Okay.
out later. Yeah, that doesn't have to be right this way.
Yeah, yes, I'm glad nobody brought up the orc. Also, Pockets' name, again, when we get captured, Pockets' name is not part of it. We do not.
Oh, okay.
We do not tell anyone.
We found the fissure on our own.
Yeah, I mean, you found a map of the place somehow. We figured it. No.
Well, I mean, if they believe that I
Is that-
communicated with spirits.
Where did you get the map again? That was from
Grimari's office.
desk, yes?
Yeah.
I can't believe
Maybe we
that's
don't
what
throw
it
him out of the
actually
class.
fucking was.
I can't believe that's what it actually fucking was either.
I can't believe my drawing was so fucking good that he knew it was
Yeah,
the assembly
no,
right away.
right on. It was really good.
Not
Well
right
done.
away. He did say it was dragon first. But good job.
You tell them I don't have much time left. We got desperate. We needed to find Grimari. We found this in Grimari's office. We have the spores.
Right.
Yes.
Grimari knows I'm here.
What? What the fuck is that?
When did it? What? When did you get that?
During my watch last night.
Why didn't you say anything as soon as we
Saying
woke
it
up?
now.
Well, did
Grimari knows I'm here. This is our lie to get out. You're desperate, trying to save a friend who might not have much time left. All of that is true.
And you decided to come in and just kill this chimera on your way. We do have to come up with some kind of explanation for why that happened, because otherwise we're gonna look like right
we
fucking
ran in.
fools.
We'll see how that happens in the first place. We ran into the wrong room.
Let's
We're looking
not
for
play it
Grimari.
by ear.
I think they're going to put two and two together that a Goliath just came in and killed the chimera.
Well, they
that's been
are
there
holding the
for
chimera
years.
for you.
For my
For
sister.
his sister.
We're gonna have to say something about the chimera. We can't just pretend it didn't happen. We can't do that. We can't just say, oh, what do you mean, that
Again,
chimera?
this is assuming that everything goes correctly with that.
I'm just saying.
First.
That's all I'm just saying.
We would have gone about the right channels to do this through Jillian, but we got desperate and we knew that Grimari was here.
Yep, great.
Let's maybe not bring up Jillian in that particular
Well,
capacity.
no, but in theory, they're communicating with each other. They know that they kidnapped. They have the
Well, but
chimera
then doesn't-
for him.
What we don't want is we don't want to put Jillian on the outs with them, because in the future.
She didn't help us
She
get
didn't
in.
know. We just knew the chimera was there.
And we knew
Oh,
that
we have to be very clear about that.
We would
I
have
can sense
yes.
it.
Hey guys, we're really good when we're under pressure and being interrogated. We've done it before.
Okay.
Do it again. We got this.
Don't
Alright,
mention.
but-
Similarly, don't mention Grimari to Pockets.
This is worth
Okay.
this is worth conferring with everyone. If we do get split up to be interrogated, I could sense that the chimera was there.
Yes.
That's how we knew.
And we went there for the Chimera, not for him, because it's been conflicting. Did we go there for the Chimera?
Pick a
Did we-
lie. Pick a lie.
No,
We have to
no,
pick
no.
one lie.
If we get split
we're
up,
going
we
in
have
there
to
and
pick
trying
the
to kill
same
it.
lie. Seriously, we've done this before. If we get split up in
Why-
interrogation,
Why can't it be both?
I suppose it can be, but we
Roberto?
all have to say that. We all have to say both.
Okay, it was both.
It was
Everybody
both.
agreed?
It was
both.
both.
Great.
Yes, yes,
It was
yes.
both.
It was both, of course.
I think we're
Why
royally
would it have
fucked
been-
anyway, and we'll have to figure out what happens.
That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We got it. It'll be fine.
Some time's gonna pass here as you wait for pockets. Does anyone need to? You can effectively take a short rest, so if there's anything you need to do that comes back on a short rest or anything like that.
I can't do any of that shit.
Erland uses all his key points, fucking punching the wall, and then takes
Sure.
Yeah, I do a little channel divinity, I do a little stone's endurance.
A little more time than maybe you expected goes by as you wait for pockets. Having experienced some of the worst the peninsula has to offer, you hope you didn't get himself into any trouble that might delay his return. But return he does. Dour-faced as he's been as long as you've interacted with him. There's something else about him this time, however, beyond his sort of typical impartiality. You sense him kind of take a couple deep breaths, his chest rising and falling, and you sense that just kind of like the rest of you, he's grappling with the reality of what you're about to attempt. By leaving you before you enter the assembly itself, he may be subjecting himself to less of a risk of death, but that doesn't mean he isn't still putting a lot on the line. His career, his reputation, his livelihood. And as Graven knows all too well, his ability to reunite with his wife. Especially in a meaningful way, where she isn't still sort of consumed by the machinations of the divine. You watch him kind of come up. Everything's in place. It's time to go.
Okay.
As we were waiting and now I'm getting ready to go,
Yes.
do I see my dudes anywhere? My, like, dead dudes?
No? Like the beach faces?
Yeah.
You haven't seen anything of that kind?
Alright, I should have given a deadline on that one.
One point, you just open your bag. You're like, oh Jesus! Face.
Okay.
There's arcane eyes on the beach.
You guys gather up your things. Pockets leads you a little ways east along the shore. And you stay close enough that you don't have to contend with him kind of popping in and out of the fog as you walk. Keeps his pace brisk. Because he's traveling much lighter than you in terms of like equipment and backpack, his footsteps are a little more graceful on this pebbly beach. The rest of you are kind of kicking up kind of sand and rocks, creating a little chorus of skittering stones as you move. Those sounds fade to the back of your mind, however, when you start to hear some snorts and whinnies. Plus a kind of slapping, splashing noise. Almost like a large fish flopping around in shallow water. These noises don't seem to faze Pockets at all, who heads right for the source of the splashing, even veering off to the left a little bit so he's starting to get his boots wet in the waves. The sounds get louder. And appearing out of the fog are 5 horses with deep blue fur and manes that are almost black. Though you quickly see that this only applies to the front half of the creature's body. For the back half slims down into a torso and then curls around into a muscular tail.
Oh yeah.
It's pushing water around easily as they flip back and forth. They're hippocamps, half horse, half fish, and one of the few aquatic animals that are tameable enough through kind of conventional means that don't require magic or you to be some kind of druid who has a very sort of in-tune sense with nature. So you see these 5 kind of smacking water around kind of by the shoreline there. Okay, everybody get acquainted. They're outfitted with reins and saddles, but it's still plenty easy to fall off at the speed that they move in the water. Squeeze your knees tight when you ride. But if you fall off, don't panic and start splashing about, because that'll spook them. Just calmly tread water, float on your back, and they'll come back around to scoop you up.
Are we underwater for this portion?
No. We're gonna ride on the surface till we get close.
Okay.
When I give the signal, you dismount, move away from the hippocamps quickly so you don't get smacked in the head. They'll know to get back to their trainer after that. You won't have to worry about them.
Should we take potions of water breathing now then?
It'll take less than an hour to get there, so...
Oh my god.
Oh
no! I'm doing this. I'm taking it.
Pockets just kind of crosses his arms. You know that as a
Yeah.
water genasi, he can breathe underwater. He sort of watches you all pop the potions.
I take a potion
Shall
of
we?
water breathing. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh. Cheers.
Fuck me.
Okay. Well, mine's warm.
Has a little briny taste to it. Also, like, I think in the description of it, there's like a floating piece of jellyfish. So it's like a little slimy at the end.
Oh no.
All right. He takes out a little pouch. Everybody take a piece of this. And he opens it up, and there's like slimy bits of seaweed inside. Give a little bit to each of the hippocamps. And doles it out there. He goes over to his, and he sort of pats the mane and holds up the seaweed, which is
I'm gonna
sort
make
of
sure my
slurps out
hand's
of his
super
hand.
flat.
Yeah,
so I
try and
don't get
copy
nipped.
him.
Everybody goes over, and one at a time. They slurp them up, and you watch the hippocamps one at a time eat the seaweed there.
I just realized.
Salty.
I still have this.
You do.
Oh, baby. Fred.
So glad I didn't use it.
Fred.
How do you?
Fred.
Fuck.
Fred's also ready, probably. Relax. Just know that. Okay.
You knew that was gonna happen. It happens every day.
Motions to the hippocamps, and you watch as Pockets swings one leg over. See him squeeze his knees kind of tight, takes the reins there. No going back now.
Nope. No, definitely not. Okay.
Before we get on, Fred. What? Use it before we go in.
Why before?
Someone use him. Someone use Fred.
Oh my god, can we wait?
No, we're about to embark.
Fucking use it!
Right?
What would you like to take?
Remind me, it's
You're already at
HP
minus
or-
sepsis. You're already at no.
Yeah,
sepsis.
it's
just temp HP or
10
inspiration.
HP, inspiration, sepsis, don't worry about it. 2d4 plus 2.
Inspiration.
Okay.
And make your
Make
roll.
your
What is it again? It's a
D6.
and it's
D6.
a one.
Roll a 1. You,
4.
Oh,
Great.
it
There we
remains
go, Fred.
strong
There we
and
go,
sturdy.
I don't want to roll like a nat 1 on one of these fucking candy quippers.
Okay.
All right.
We're ready. We're ready. We're ready to go.
Everybody saddles up.
Tight knees.
Everybody squeezing their knees on both sides there. And immediately, as soon as Pockets kind of directs his hippocamp into the water, the rest begin to follow.
Oh my god.
The first few flopping motions of the hippocamps are kind of awkward. They come with an uncomfortable kind of bucking as they work their way into the water of the sea. When the water gets deep enough, there's one kind of more dramatic lurch forward, and then they slowly start to creep into the water and start to glide like you've never felt before. I need everybody to give me animal handling.
Oh no! I don't like that.
Shit.
All right.
Oh no!
You should have taken Fred.
Oh, that was. Oh, did you see that?
Did you go back in?
It went into this little hole.
Pretty sweet.
12.
One.
Dirty 20.
14.
It was a natural one.
Oh boy.
No.
As soon, all of you kind of get to the edge of the deeper
start,
water
good
at the
start.
same time, and all four of them kind of lurp, and Safira just, mainly it's Safira's experience with horses, and they're just a little different, like the texture of the skin is different.
I was so
And you
confident.
squeeze the legs and slip between
No!
much,
Oh no.
Okay.
and everybody kind of looks
As soon
back
as I
quickly.
fall off, I'm gonna. Oh, I get back on.
You're in shallow water.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, this was like literally the disembarking
Like
leap
over.
there.
And I kind of get back on and pat him tight. Okay. Okay. No, this time I'm fine.
And slowly Safira gets back on, and so she's a little bit behind, but everybody's moving along.
Oh my god.
You start to glide across the water. You feel light sprays of salty water as you gracefully go up and down, the wind whipping through your hair and the fog fully subsiding just moments later. It provides you with an awe-inspiring view of the moon behind Finlock Forest, which slowly starts to creep closer and closer, second by second, minute by minute. Was there something wrong before I continue?
No, I changed the slideshow so it's not Reaper.
Ah,
I saw everybody
excellent.
get paranoid. I apologize.
okay.
I thought you changed like the background to ocean or something.
No, I wish I had
A little hippocamp.
production. Nope, just changing the slideshow.
To your left, you can see the other side of the Isthmus now, which you really weren't able to see when you went to the harbor because it was totally fogged. Even with its impressive breadth and scope, if there was ever a part of you as you were passing that thought about taking the land bridge across to Finlock Forest, those thoughts are long gone now. Even Pockets, who admitted his preference for swimming and has only cracked a smile so far, ironically, you watch the corner of his mouth turn up into a half grin as he sort of skims across the surface of the ocean. There is magic, and there is magical, and this is the latter, bolstering the spirits of the party as you charge triumphantly across the bay. It's a feeling that you wish would last forever, but at the speed that these hippocamps are moving, you know that that's far from the reality. When the forest starts to close in, you hug your horses tight. You keep a careful eye on your companions. I need animal handling checks from you.
Oh, baby.
Get it together, Safira.
I know. I'm getting it together. You get it together.
16.
You get it together. I need to get it together.
8.
Oh
Dirty
my god. Wait, what was it? Oh no.
Animal handling.
Oh my god, 9.
9?
That's with a
Okay.
+7. I have a +7 right now.
As a group, sort of, you can see Safira struggling a little bit in the back there with hers. Maybe hers a little wilder, untamed, as it's sort of...
Oh, cool, I got the
kind of
stallion.
fucking-
Thanks.
But you continue, start to get closer and closer and closer. Finlock Forest is approaching faster. The way it looms large, it actually feels like the island is coming to you and not the other way around. You watch as Pockets clenches his thighs so he can sit up taller to kind of get a better look over the hippocamp's head. And he releases one hand from the reins, just holding it down by his side, sort of loose hand, just like he might give a signal at any moment. And you guys have been riding for 15, 20 minutes at this point, moving all the way across that little inlet at an incredible speed on the backs of these hippocamps. Your legs are starting to get tired from the squeezing, and your eyes feel strained from trying to intensely spot little quippers in the water, though he didn't sort of indicate how close you might have to get before they would pop up. You brace yourselves. You hold steady as you converge. 1,500 feet from the shore. 1,400. 1,300. You see Pocket's hand curl into a fist. 1,200. 1,100. 1,000. Pockets shifts his weight to the left side of his steed, not quite side saddle, but definitely favoring one direction. 900. 800. 700. You're close enough that the moon is disappearing behind the treetops of Finlock Forest on the other side. 600.
Oh my gosh.
500. 400. You can see where the waves are breaking against the steep beaches of the island. 300. Pockets raises his fist. He points down aggressively toward the ocean, and in that lets the momentum carry him and slides off the side of the hippocamp, which quickly peels in the opposite direction and starts swimming away from the forest. He barely makes a splash. The ocean swallowing him up, and in a split second, he's gone beneath the wake.
Yep.
And you guys are just a little bit behind him.
Whoever's next in line,
I'm gonna let go. Yeah, that's saying
Try and mimic him as much
Animal
as possible.
handling checks, everybody.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my
Orba's
god.
cannonballing
Oh
in.
god, oh my god.
Oh, 17.
Oh my god.
9. Dude, that's bad. 14?
13.
13. Everyone sort of slips down in the water. Graven, a little heavier on the dismount. You just get like smacked by the tail as it's turning. Take 1 bludgeoning damage.
Oh shit.
Oh! My prognosticator's always on bludgeoning.
I think it's to a minimum of 1, isn't it? Or it just grants you resistance. I think it's all.
Oh, I get it. It's
No, it's
resistance.
resistance.
Oh my
It's not gonna do
god.
anything.
You'll be okay, bud.
You
can
when
take
you take
one
a
each.
large
Yeah.
damage, resistance damage as long as you're wielding a shield. I'm not wielding it. I'm not
Oh
wielding
yeah.
it. Fuck it.
You're on this thing like,
You have the helmet.
You have a helmet on.
I
Kidding,
think
it
you
doesn't really
roll. Unless does it say to a minimum?
No.
Then you took 0 damage.
Oh,
But
okay.
You do have to roll.
I have
for
to
the new
re-roll?
one. Yeah.
Ooh, son of a ball.
Yeah, you roll down to 0 unless it
Okay.
specifies otherwise.
Acid.
Okay,
I got
acid damage.
stuck with this one last time, too.
Huh?
There are some sea creatures that deal
Yeah,
acid damage.
yeah.
Great. So Graven
Do I
takes
get
a
any
little
ideas?
smack on the back of the head as he sort of heads into the water there.
My shield
And
goes boom.
For three of you, the abyss of the ocean is this terrifying void where 60 feet of dark vision reveals nothing but more darkness. It's just like floating here. But for Graven, who has no dark vision, you can only imagine how it feels for him. No assistance from the eyes, just as if someone was fully covering them in the dark of night. And you can't see anything. And a couple of you kind of look back and you see Graven sort of...
Can I swim over to him?
You can?
Yeah, I'm gonna swim over.
Feeling somebody touch, I'm like...
I'll grab his arm and start to try to lead him.
I'll touch that and make sure it feels familiar.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Okay. Yeah.
Or maybe she'll like even so she can swim. Like maybe try to lead his hand to like her ankle or something, just so he can hold on to something or just.
So you make kind of a little chain almost.
Yeah.
It slows your swimming speed, but thankfully with the water breathing potion. Yeah, you would imagine if you had to guide Graven all the way down there without a water breathing potion, that would take a while. Like, just because you're moving very slowly as you're kind of the two of you making a little chain as you move down. At one point, you can, for those of you with dark vision, you can see Pockets is kind of lingered sort of a little ways down and is sort of looking back up at the rest of you. He waits for you guys to get a little bit closer to him before he turns. He goes further down.
Guys, what are we doing?
I don't know.
Down you go, with no natural formations to guide you, taking it very much in faith that this will take you to an eventual access point beneath the ocean. With a few powerful strokes and kicks that seem impressively sort of synced and unaffected by the water, sort of Pockets torpedoes through. And a couple times he gets so far ahead that again he turns back and waits, and then turns, and he goes again.
I mean, I'm in full darkness.
Yes,
the whole
you can't
time.
see anything. Pockets takes you to what you see first coming up on your vision. It looks like a sandy ocean floor that's rife with coral, swaying aquatic plants. And a little bit of relief washes over you as you think you've gone as far down as you're going to go. But Pockets diverts away from the sandbar, which falls off dramatically into kind of a murky descent. The pressure around your head is already substantial. But there's nowhere to go but deeper.
Trying to stay close to them, not get ahead of them.
Sure. So deeper you go. Your heart's beating faster with every stroke. And that is where we are going
No.
to end tonight's.
That sounds like a mermaid or some shit. That sounds like that's
Creatures
As
of the
you
deep.
guys
Yeah.
work your way down into the fissure below Finlock Forest,
Oh my
that
god.
is where we are going to end. Also, in the interest of time to think, I didn't want to do it ahead. During your time at the harbor, you have leveled up.
No fucking way! No fucking way! You lie! You're lying.
That's what I asked for. I asked for that.
What do you mean you asked for
At
that?
one point tonight,
He was like,
I said,
do we level up?
I was like, I want to level up.
Guys,
No.
you're welcome, everyone. You're welcome.
Yeah, you
Leveled
you
up and
took
got
us
so
through.
much shit.
You got this.
This is bad. This is bad news.
Why?
Because it's gonna be hard now.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. There's like 20 gas cans, 8 med kits,
Oh
7
my
Oh
god.
my
adrenaline shots.
god.
We're-
Oh my god. I'm
Oh
not
my-
ready.
oh,
This means
thank
this
you.
is this either means a good thing or TPK. That's it. There's nothing in, there's
Those are
nothing
the only
in
two
between.
options?
There's nothing in between.
Congratulations, everyone.
Oh my god,
We
we're
are
level 7?
7.
Oh my god. I don't even know what I don't even know what shit I get. I don't even
Into
I
the
don't even know.
depths of Finlock
I
Forest.
didn't think we were seeing 7.
I didn't
Oh my
either.
God.
Not
I didn't
gonna
think we were
lie.
doing it.
And so we go.
Are we the most powerful people on the planet?
close.
Yes. So
You are going into the place that has some of the only people as powerful as you guys
Yeah.
are. No, on the other continents,
Yes.
there's a select smattering encountering
Like the
people
light
that
missiles are pretty fucking powerful.
There's on the other
Politically
continents.
powerful.
There's
no,
some
like
other-
also
I'm probably approaching the level that I was at 5 years ago.
Oh man. Well, not because you're
level,
multi-class.
level 20 cleric.
I wasn't. I was like.
You, yeah, what do you mean? Like in terms of cleric levels? Or is
Yeah.
that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Oh, you were more powerful.
I was higher than 7.
Oh my god.
That was pretty cool, you guys. I guess I was
you were
50.
murdering
I had
all
been a
those
cleric
enemies.
for like 40 years.
So it means we get to roll for HP and shit too.
It does indeed.
Holy shit.
There was no combat since you guys did, so you can think about your spell load a little bit if you.
Thank you.
I know.
Thank you.
It's hard to do midstream. But that's where we're gonna stop. We're
Holy
gonna pick
shit.
up. Once again, we are off next week.
Oh.
It's so sad. We're gonna miss you guys.
What a cliffhanger.
When we come back, the week after that, unfortunately,
Oh, yeah.
Anthony's still not going to be with us. I wasn't sure how far that we'd get here. Basically, we're gonna he's gonna be with the group as we descend, and then there's that part at the pipe where we're splitting. So he will then go off, and then you guys will.
You
do
can't
your
see or do anything anyways.
I'll
You're
send.
basically
I'll
absent.
send some voice notes of what I yell at you guys in the meantime.
Please do. Please do.
Stop it, you're
Yeah,
stupid.
I mean, that's the first portion of the sort of caverns anyway. So just a short portion there while we're with Graven before the group split.
Does it say "fuck you, Erland" on it?
Dude, you didn't investigate that thing very. I bet.
I can't believe you're still holding on to it. The last note that you got.
I know.
Ruined your
was
life.
A trace. Was a trace.
You know
And it
those
was me that pulled
the
it out
words
of
when you
trash
flip
like
them
a
over, they say
moron.
something else upside down. No, it's not fuck you,
What does it
Erland.
say? Upside down.
Oh.
I wrote on it with my pee. I have to hold it up to heat.
Oh my god,
Wow.
guys.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm
That's
not
what
ready.
we're
I
gonna
know.
Jesus.
We're in. We're in.
Oh man.
We're
oh,
in.
Man. Oh, geez.
I don't know how to feel.
I don't feel good. I feel bad.
I'm
I
not
feel
in control
sick.
of the situation. I'm
Thank
not.
you guys so.
Holy shit.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay.
Hop into the Discord.
Oh.
Say hey.
Yeah.
Use the,
Level
use the week
7, by
off
the
to
way.
theorize and
What should we do for level 7?
I know.
Let's-
I don't even know what my ranger
Oh my
buffs are. I
God.
didn't even look
pretty
that
cool.
far.
I will also absolutely put this picture in the Discord for everybody to
Oh,
see
yeah.
in the spoiler section that Pogodogo is probably creating as we speak. Thank you so
Trogdon?
much. Yeah, Trogdon.
No reference to a flash animation dragon that it kind of looks like.
it was indeed.
does, yeah.
That
didn't know what it
I
was.
didn't know what it was. I drew it, and then they were like, "Oh, it looks like that thing."
It's like the Burninator.
It's named- yeah.
villagers.
I guess.
Exactly. Burninating the Finlog Forest.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and yeah, in case people are watching this after the fact on YouTube, because we don't post the announcements, this will be the last YouTube premiere because we're gonna be moving it so that patrons get early access to the episode, so no more premieres. But however, you can join the Discord and chat with everybody, or watch us live on Twitch and chat with everybody.
Also
Hang out
join
with-
the Patreon.
Formidable flora.
Ooh.
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. Your enthusiasm is lovely.
You should also join the Patreon because there's so many awesome things in that book, and you get access to every single one of them immediately at the middle or top tier of the
So you have
Patreon.
access to all of them. The most recent one. If you have a campaign that has magical plants, this is the one
Oh
for you.
boy,
It's
do
gonna be
you
in
now?
two-part.
If you didn't, now you
Plants.
do.
Bizarre's Draft Jacket, fighting and card games, Erlen's bullshit where he sucks.
Oh, you're right.
Um,
labeled as Erlen's bullshit.
Is the bow one of them? Is recurve? or
We
the-
haven't gotten to.
Spoiler
And that
alert.
will happen, but we haven't gotten there. Yeah, encounters.
ridiculously cool stuff to use in your campaign.
All right, everyone. We're gonna be sadly signing off. We'll
Bits
see you in-
and shits.
Oh yes,
Oh, yes,
bits and
please.
shits.
Bits and
Thank
shits
you.
on the fritz and
Thanks for the
shits.
bits and shits. I hate that it sounds
Hello?
like
That was
somebody's
a-
fucking drowning in
Hello?
this trash.
That last one was a bit of a moan.
Hello?
That was someone
Who the
drowning
fuck
a
are
dog.
you?
What was that?
Oh no!
Oh my God,
Sounded
stop
like
it.
pleasurable to me.
No, it doesn't. Then sirens, mermaids.
Like a tortoise?
Ali Slayer gifted 100 bits. Savannah Yum Yum did 400 bits. Effective subscribed. Ali Slayer did 100 bits. Dave the One did 500 bits. Nobody77 resubscribed. Nobody77 gave out 5 community
Oh.
subs. Thank you so much. Cool Schaefer did
You're somebody
400
else.
bits. And then Ali Slayer did
So
a
sorry.
hundo biddies.
Wow.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Pockets is here. We're on our way. We'll see you in 2 weeks, everybody. Have a wonderful week.
Oh man.
great long
oh
weekend
man,
if you're
oh
in the
man, oh
US.
man. Oh jeez.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Love y'all.